Week 4 of the high school football season takes us to homecoming night at Springfield High School in Robertson County for a non-region matchup between two teams looking to turn their seasons around as the Station Camp Bison make the trip up from Sumner County to take on the Springfield Yellow Jackets. Good evening, everybody. My name's Max Hers, along with former Clarksville Wildcat Bruno Reagan. Bruno, two teams that have not gotten off to the starts they wanted, both think they can turn it around tonight.
Absolutely. This is an opportunity for both of them. They both come into a game where they're kind of playing a team in a similar situation. So one team's going to come out with maybe a little more positivity and some hope for the rest of their season.
Let's take a look at our keys to the game for both these teams tonight, brought to you by Action Nissan. First up for Station Camp, model the Mohawk. Their first-year head coach, Chris Bain, shaved a Mohawk into his head this week to show the team that, hey, we're 0-3, but it's not that serious. We can still have some fun.
I love it because it shows the team that nothing else matters. Nobody else's opinion matters other than what we do or what we see or how our team reacts. Everything revolves around our team. Now, I would respect it a little bit more if he didn't have the hat on during the more serious situations, but you also don't want to be a distraction, so I can respect the decision.
From a 51-year-old man with a self-shaved Mohawk to our key for Springfield, which is keep growing up. They're young.
Absolutely. If you're a young team, you just need to find out what works. Rome wasn't built in a day. Good football seasons weren't built in a day. Good football programs weren't built in a day. So you just have to find what works, find what players you can key in, and really start to develop them, and then you'll start seeing wins in the win column.
All right, our players to watch for these two teams. First up for Station Camp, they'll be without their star on defense, Sanders Ellis, so we turn our attention to their offense and senior quarterback Luke Dickens.
Yes, Luke Dickens is a guy who gets it done through there on the ground. He has over 300 yards passing this season, 188 yards rushing, and 5 total touchdowns. Look for him to keep his balanced attack going if Station Camp wants to get the victory tonight.
On the Springfield side, the Yellow Jacket who puts the spring in Springfield on both sides of the football, C.J. Cobbins.
There's one common denominator with all of our players to watch going in that isn't a quarterback, and that is someone that plays both ways. You got to play on the offense, and you got to give opportunities for them to progress the field and score, and then when you're on defense, you have to provide pressure and force turnovers. Look for that from C.J. tonight.
Springfield and Station Camp tonight. He's Bruno Reagan. I'm Max Hers, and here's Sammy Kincaid.
Hey, Max and Bruno. For the Bart Durham Injury Law Injury Report, as Springfield head coach Dustin Wilson said, when it rains, it pours, and we have quite the laundry list for the report tonight. First up, you have on the Springfield side, two-way starter, safety and wide receiver Cam Cobbins, also starting wide receiver to Braylon Ellis, and starting running back K.J. Chapman. On the Station Camp side, you have senior linebacker number 4, Sanders Ellis, who is out with a high ankle sprain that he got last week against Marshall County. You also have number 13, Levy Johnson, out tonight. That's your Bart Durham Injury Law Injury Report. You guys.
Emmy, somebody's snapping a losing streak tonight. Station Camp in Springfield in Week 4 of the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals. Presented by Bart Durham Injury Law on MyTV 30.
Convenience and value, two words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective.
This is what it's like in the National Guard. Did I mention it was part-time? I give them my time, they pay for my education. What are you doing today?
College isn't the only way to train for your career in life. Trade jobs are a quicker way to get into the workforce to support yourself and your family. Your local 572 is looking for hard-working individuals who want to work in the pipe trade. Plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. When you sign up for an apprenticeship, you learn on the job and in the classroom, and your schooling is free. And once you've signed up, that's like getting 1,000 brothers and sisters all looking out for one another, because that's what families do.
BMC Metalworks continues its legacy of over 45 years of excellence in CNC machining, steel fabrication, and field support services. BMC's #1 priority is meeting customers' requirements with quality assurance and superior service. Visit bmcmetalworksllc.com to find out more.
Convenience and value, two words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective.
HBCU football is back and ballin' on HBCU Go.
Here's our quarterback in trouble. Lets it go.
Man.
The other way.
Oh, man!
Right to the end zone. Touchdown. Wide open.
Arkansas Pine Bluff takes on Tennessee State in the Southern Heritage Classic, Saturday, September 9th, 7, 6 Central.
Watch HBCU Go Saturday at 6 on MyTV 30.
Homecoming at the Jackets Nest in Springfield on the campus of Springfield High School, which they now call home after so many years at Boyce Smith Field across town. The Jackets take the field at 1-2, have lost 2 in a row, taking on Station Camp, who is 0-3 to start the year. Both teams feel like they're in a good place, though, especially the winless boys from Station Camp. Time for tonight's coin toss, presented by the Tennessee Army National Guard, with our head official, Brian Story.
And there's tails. I'm going to toss it in the air and catch it. If I drop it, we'll have to toss it again. What are you going to call? Tails.
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 Tails, tails, tails.
And it's heads. You've won the toss. You want to receive, defer? Springfield wins the toss, elects to defer. You want the football, correct? You guys want to defend the scoreboard? Stand over there and face me. You guys line up them. To start the game, Station Camp will receive. Shake hands and go get your team ready.
It's Bison in this non-region matchup in Robertson County. Station Camp first-year head coach Chris Bain, a Sumner County veteran as an assistant coach, first for Portland, then for Hendersonville for many years under Coach Hatt, now a head coach for the first time, taking on Dustin Wilson, a Springfield alum, who is the head coach and athletic director here, trying to keep the Jackets from losing their third game in a row for the first time in 10 years, which was just his second season as the coach here. Wearing that hat to celebrate the 30th anniversary on homecoming of their 1993 state champion squad. We'll hang out with them later. Springfield in the gold, Station Camp in the white. Ali Sanganez kicks things off for Springfield, and we are underway with a return for Station Camp, starting around the 5-yard line. Tackled around the 20 is Cayman Graham. So Station Camp at 0-3 will take the field on offense to get things started, Bruno. They feel like they're close. They also feel like they've played and lost 3 very different winnable games.
Right here we have quarterback Luke Dickens coming in. And yeah, to trail on that, Max, Station Camp's 3 losses are to Beach, Gallatin, and Marshall County. And the Gallatin and Marshall County games were fairly close games, and even Beach was a little bit closer score. So they feel like they have a squad that can win. It just hasn't fallen in their favor yet.
Dickens, a senior, second year as the starting quarterback, was the starting running back 2 years ago. And the handoff goes to Gavin on the first touch. Robert Bogus Jr. is their starting running back. He missed practice with a sickness this week, so won't play a full load. Mason Murray, Preston Farley, and Leighton Lassiter, the 3 receivers. Andrew White, the tight end for Station Camp, with the offensive line. Logan Duncan, Garrett Relaford, Hunter Boswell, Luke Pulliam, and Duran Riddle up front for the Station Camp starting offense. Springfield defense off to a very good start. Here's their starting lineup as Demarion Smith makes that stop. The 4-4 front, Max Baldwin, Matt Gregory, and Alan Dickerson, with Demarion Smith, the 4th D lineman. Andy McBeardy, Jack Holt, Hayden Reynolds, and Josh Lee, the 4 linebackers. Their base is only 3 D backs. Jaden Hurst, the safety, CJ Cobbins, and Timothy Bush are the corners. Their starting lineups brought to you by BMC Metalworks. 3rd and 6 for Station Camp. Met in the backfield, and they're going nowhere. Max Baldwin was in first, then Jack Holt and a swarm of Jackets brought 4th down.
Max Baldwin, number 55 right here. You see he sheds his backside block to force the quarterback to his outside contain. Very well played by the Springfield defense to get off the field here on 4th down.
3-and-out Jackets to start the night. Their lines are their most experienced field team, with only 7 seniors this year and fewer than 50 players dressed tonight, including 3 of their best players out injured. Elliott Max with the punt for Station Camp, away from CJ Cobbins. Good directional kick, down just past midfield, and that is where Springfield will take over. There is a flag on the punt that came in late after Robert Bogus Jr. downed it.
Sideline warning on Station Camp. That's their first of the game.
So Station Camp sideline warning, no yardage the penalty, as the Station Camp defense will take the field. And here's the Springfield offense, led by that man, the uber-confident junior Parker Betts, taking over for Devin Crenshaw, who's now at Bethel U.
Offense is going to have to run through Parker Betts if Springfield wants to get their first win of the season here. Excuse me, their second one.
Start in good position at their own 46-yard line after the 3 and out. Hand off to Jaden Hurst, who's met way behind the line. Kyron Fielder with the TFL to start the Bison defense. Starting offense for Station Camp, for Springfield, Parker Betts, Jaden Hurst, the sophomore running back, Hayden Reynolds, the fullback, Andy McBrearty, Tony Pettis, and CJ Cobbins, the receivers. Allen and Anson Dickerson next to each other on the line. They are not related. Plus Gage Wilkes, Matt Gregory, and Cortavius Herring for Springfield, who lost 5 yards on their first snap of the ballgame. High snap. Betts has to fall on it.
That's 2 high snaps in a row, Max. You see right here, Betts is talking to his offensive line.
Here's the starting defense for Station Camp. Up front, Kyron Fielder, Akoe Ellis, and Kelton Crisp. Linebacking core, Alec Manning, Sam Morgan getting the start with Sanders Ellis out, Brandon Gillespie, and Nick Sullivan. BJ and RJ are the corners, BJ Alexander and RJ Jones. Willis Bell and Charlie Minshew, the safeties for the Station Camp defense. Brought to you by BMC Metalworks. They are missing their best player tonight. Sanders Ellis, their star senior linebacker committed to Murray State, is out with a high ankle sprain. Their coach Chris Bain said he could have played if it were a region game tonight, but he's not playing. That's a deep drop on 3rd and 21, and the screen is incomplete. So a 3 and out for both sides. Alec Manning in coverage for the Bison.
Once you get to 3rd and 10, maybe 2nd and 10, screen plays have a great chance. But when you get to 3rd and 21, it takes so long for that backfield to develop, and then the quarterback has to take time to drop back because the pass rush is coming. I mean, there's not going to be a run, so the D-line really gets a good go at it. It's really tough to convert those screens on 3rd and long, so it sets up better field position here for Station Camp.
Springfield's turn to punt with Ali Sanganez deep. The 3 sport athletes, soccer, wrestling, and football. Sanganez boots it away. Preston Farley lets it bounce. And Springfield will down it around the 30. The defense is looking good, and so is the homecoming court here at Springfield High School. Congrats to everybody on the homecoming court and our king and queen. Back with more high school football after this.
College isn't the
Hi, I'm
Before the game tonight, our United States Marines National Anthem moment with the Springfield High School Air Force Junior ROTC presenting the colors and the Springfield High Marching Band playing the National Anthem on homecoming with a couple of members of our homecoming court joining in. A 3 and out for both defenses so far. Station Camp back on the football. Gavin Pennington with his 2nd carry. The sophomore running back had never touched the ball in a varsity game before tonight. Their starter, Robert Bogus Jr., was sick throughout the week, missed some practice. So he's not at full go tonight, but he is on the field right now. Number 1 behind his fellow senior Luke Dickens in the pistol. Dickens throws to the left side. Pass is caught by Leighton Lassiter, and a flag comes in right as he crosses the line to gain. Station Camp wants to throw more. They want it to be closer to 50-50 in an offense that they want to go fast.
And it worked well to them. It looked like Springfield brought a chop, which is a corner blitz, with the guy who was covering Lassiter, and it was just a free play for 10 yards.
Looks like this one might come back. We await the call from our white hat official, Brian Story.
Holding. Offense number 24. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. Replay 2nd down.
So on the receiver, Riley Haskins.
Always happens on those outer edges. If you're on the outside and you're a receiver blocking, you have to run those feet. You can't negate those big plays.
They won't lose all the yardage. It's 2nd and 8. And now a jump.
Defense number 61. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Anson Dickerson came across for Springfield. Play penalty roulette here. 2nd and 3. Dickens hands off to Robert Bogus Jr. And Jr.'s first touch of the game is a 1st down for Station Camp.
Robert Bogus Jr. looks like he's the fastest guy on the field in the first snap he's gotten the football. So I think they're going to really, they're going to try and keep him safe, especially with the limited practice he's got. But if you want any chance of explosive plays, that guy's got to be on the field.
The man they call Junior with the first down of the ball game gets the football back and is tripped up after a gain of a couple by Josh Lee, the junior inside linebacker. Station Camp is 0-3 so far this season, Bruno, but visiting with them at practice this week, they feel like they're in a really good place. And even though one of the games they lost was a region game, they feel like everything that was on the table for them this season is still there.
Yeah, early season is not the time to panic. If you get into the later season, you might have to rethink some things, but right now it's not the time to panic. Keep playing hard.
Screening out to Robert Bogus Jr. as a big gain. Another first down for Station Camp. Down by the quarterback, Parker Betts, playing some safety.
We get their big playmakers out in space. Robert Bogus Jr., I told you, if there's going to be explosive plays, this guy looks like the fastest guy on the field just from the blind eyes, so keep a lookout for him.
Gain of 13 and a handoff to the freshman Colin Gillespie. His first ever varsity carry for a man who played the first half of the freshman game last night. His older brother Brandon is one of their linebackers. They're going deep in their running back rotation, again because of all the practice time that Bogus missed this week. Their quarterback, Luke Dickens, said they're not going to be able to fill Junior's role if he can't play, which, of course, we've seen him. He is in the game. But he trusts them. He knows they'll be a little skittish. But everybody's touching the football early. Here we go on an end around to Lassiter, who had the catch earlier. And he's pushed out. May have been a loss. It's third down.
Lassiter, you see he starts to get the edge. Number 16 right there, he gets beat on the outside, so it would have been better if Lassiter was able to cut up. But if you're a blocker on those, you want to try and stay as square as possible.
C.J. Cobbins, our pregame player to watch for Springfield, with the force out for a loss of 1. Cobbins, the senior corner, has offers from UAB, Austin Peay, and Eastern Kentucky as a cornerback. Picked up all those offers in between the end of last season and the start of this one. Did a whole lot of camping this summer. 3rd and 6 for the Bison. Pressure. Dickens gets away and is intercepted by C.J. Cobbins. Cobbins cuts back and is down inside the 10. C.J. Cobbins, for all 4 years, has put the spring in Springfield.
Station Camp is out of a 21 personnel trying to use a play-action pass, and that allows some pressure to get in, and C.J. Cobbins to jump inside of the pass that was, a little bit ill thrown, but the pressure in combination with the great play on the safeties, huge swing of momentum for Springfield.
Springfield at the 5-yard line in the Sprint's Home Furnishings red zone. For the man with the biggest smile in Robertson County, you saw it there for a second. C.J. Cobbins has a big smile, but will outrun you on offense, defense, and everywhere in between. 62-yard return. 1st and goal at the 5 for Springfield High. Cobbins in motion. Fake to him. Handoff to Jaden Hurst. Touchdown Jackets. Springfield strikes first on homecoming night with a Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical touchdown for Jaden Hurst.
That outside motion right there, the fake motion and the great blocking allows for him to just run right up the middle. Great play from Springfield.
Hurst, the sophomore, latest in a long line of young running backs to get the call here at Springfield High, as Ali Sanganez kicks it right into your living room. An interception by C.J. Cobbins, a 62-yard return, and only 1 snap needed for Springfield to take the lead midway through the first quarter over Station Camp.
This is what it's like in the national.
For joining me. And first off, how is the Tennessee Army National Guard different from other military branches?
Being able to have that state federal mission, so we're serving the state first and as well with the federal mission. So it and the dual purpose makes it a lot different.
And what jobs can somebody have in the Tennessee Army National Guard?
Well, applicants can choose kind of whatever they'd like. There's 130 different job opportunities. I branched infantry, so that's it's very diverse. It's very awesome MOS.
It's great hearing all the different options that are available, and everyone talks about the benefits that you have whenever you're in the military. But what benefits are specific to the Tennessee Army National Guard?
That'd be the Tennessee Strong Act. That's being able to pay up to a master's degree now. So you can go to any Tennessee state school, what's called tuition free. So
that's incredible. Well, thank you again so much for your service, and thank you for joining me. And thank you to the Tennessee Army National Guard for being a sponsor of Friday Night Rivals. Guys, up to you.
Thank you, Sammy, and thank you to Specialist Gareth Eller for joining us here in Springfield tonight. Springfield with a 7-0 lead as they kick it back to Station Camp. Cayman Graham on the kick return, cuts up the middle and gets past the 30-yard line, and a flag comes in late. Max Hers, Bruno Reagan, Sammy Kincaid here in Robertson County tonight for this non-region matchup. We'll check the penalty here on the kickoff.
The return, block in the back, return team number 57. It's a 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down for Station Camp.
So it'll back Station Camp up. Our Wilson Bank and Trust scoring summary for Dustin Wilson's crew, a pretty easy one after the interception by C.J. Cobbins. 62-yard run back. One snap from the 5-yard line gets it done for Jaden Hurst. That scoring summary brought to you by Wilson Bank and Trust. Proud to sponsor our local schools and student athletes both on and off the field. Station Camp from Sumner County on the Gallatin side, though they pull students from both Gallatin and Hendersonville. Back on offense in the white and maroon. Handoff going nowhere. Springfield has stopped the run big time so far.
Station Camp is opting to stay in this 21 personnel, 2 tight ends, 1 running back set. And while it's great to get more blockers in to help your rushing attack, it also brings in more defenders. And I think Springfield is able to just swarm to the ball really fast when when Station Camp's handoff kind of gets a little messy.
Another one to Bogus as they run right. A stiff arm for Robert Bogus Jr. and a first down for Station Camp. And another flag.
Might call late hit here, Max?
Bogus Jr. has enough for a first down on an 18-yard gain if it counts. And it's 15 more on the Springfield defense. You're right, Bruno.
Man, I'll tell you, Max, it's tough if you're Station Camp because you know that
personal foul, late hit out of bounds. Defense number 40. 15-yard penalty, first down.
You know that you have to keep Bogus, off the field a little bit with the limited load he got in practice. But we see right here the late hit. Yep, can't do that, especially if you're going to target the head. Got to play a little smarter on the Springfield defense side.
Another hand to Bogus after the BMC Metalworks first down. He's ridden by Demarion Smith, but just keeps on chugging for a gain of 7. Bogus looking good so far despite a limited workload this week. 5 carries for 35 yards, and also a first down in the pass game for Junior. Came to the game averaging only 3.5 yards per carry. They definitely want more from him here in game number 4. Dickens keeps it on the read and has a lot of room. Luke Dickens, been a running quarterback both years as the starter. Dynamic player whose rushing totals are almost as high as his passing totals.
Yep, he's at about 300, a little over 300 yards rushing, 188 yards rushing up until that one right there. So he's really a very balanced attack. And you see he's not just going to slide. He's going to try and spin, try and juke, and might put the shoulder down. So something Springfield has to be aware of.
First down to the 27, and another handoff to Colin Gillespie, and the freshman's going nowhere. Demarion Smith swallows him up with some help from Hayden Reynolds, who's going to be in the middle of just about every run stop tonight for Springfield, the active junior inside backer. Part of an all-new linebacking core for the Jackets this fall.
Great job by Demarion Smith on the backside. He tracks the pullers and just tries to cut inside onto the running back's lane. Easy TFL.
2nd and 10. Another hand to Gillespie, and the freshman's got room this time. Pick up a 6 or 7 to set up a 3rd and manageable.
Love that from Gillespie. He was just, I'm going to get as vertical as humanly possible. He didn't give any time to wait. He was like, I'm just going to get up the field, and was able to chop down for a 3rd and short.
Normally, Sanders Ellis, their star linebacker, would be their second running back. He's out injured. So Robert Bogus is backed up by a couple of youngsters tonight, and the seniors back in with a first down into the red zone for Station Camp, who's moving well on their 3rd drive of the game after a pick last time. It is a BMC Metalworks first down. into the Sprints Home Furnishings red zone for the Station Camp Bison. Luke Dickens hands to Robert Bogus Jr. Bogus up the middle for another good run. Looks like he got 9 there.
Look for Station Camp to stick on the rushing attack. When you have a bad throw, you just want the offense to operate through somebody who does, maybe has a little bit more confidence, and then you can get your quarterback Dickerson back into the fold.
2nd and short. Bogus again has the first down inside the 5.
Springfield defense is starting to look a little gassed on this drive. They've got a rushing attack all the way down from the opposite side of the field. It's starting to really catch up to them in this red zone defense.
The Bison will go with their heavy package. That's a power I with Alec Manning, the linebacker, deep. Kyron Fielder and Nick Sullivan, 2 D front guys blocking for him. It's a handoff to Kyron Fielder, who's met in the backfield, still pushing, and forward progress stopped. Josh Philippe was the first contact in the backfield, number 41. They go heavy and give the ball to their starting nose tackle, number 27.
What a fun play call. I'm all for it right here. And it's very rare you see high school teams even get under center out of the I formation. I love it. Go right back to it.
It's a QB sneak for Dickens. Touchdown, Station Camp. The Bison are an extra point from tying the game after a very beautiful touchdown drive. And a Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical touchdown for the quarterback, Luke Dickens.
This is something I wish I saw more high school teams do. Very rarely do they go under center. Very rarely do they even operate on quarterback sneaks. And they're a very effective thing, a la Eagles. And if you're watching any NFL last season, we got a little bit of a missed punt right here. Fire. Nope.
Bobbled snap, and Station Camp will not be able to tie the game after a bobbled extra point. There's Luke Dickens, the quarterback, who did it all on that drive, but the PAT team can't get it down. So for a Station Camp team that has already had to go for 2 a lot this season and fake some extra points, that may be in the cards later on.
Now right here, if you're on the operating team and you fumble a snap, what you're supposed to do is pick the ball up and call fire. If you're the snapper, you pick the ball up, roll out to your backside, and then that tight end on the end of the right side, they go for a corner route. That's typically what most teams base out of on a mess up. He tries to reset the snap for his kicker, but since he's out of operation there's no chance for the kicker to be comfortable kicking it. A little bit of miscommunication. At that point, pick up the ball, roll out, try and make something happen.
Our Wilson Bank and Trust scoring summary for that nearly seamless drive for Station Camp. 11 plays, 67 yards, including 50 yards on the ground for Robert Bogus Jr. Ends with a sneak touchdown by the quarterback, Dickens. So Station Camp on the board in this battle of teams on multi-game losing streaks. Springfield won their opener against Greenbrier, but has since lost 2 in a row. Station Camp is 0-3. Gavin Hastings kicks off. It's returnable for C.J. Cobbins, who had that big run back on a pick earlier, and he's down past the 40.
C.J. Cobbins and Robert Bogus Jr. are 2 guys on this field that are moving at a different speed. Right here, C.J. Cobbins, he gets through the gap and then gets 1 cut in vertical. He's just a hand away from maybe breaking that for a full touchdown.
It's a 42-yard return for the man who had a 62-yard interception return earlier. Springfield starts this drive in a good spot again at their own 43 after a touchdown from the 5 last time. It's a screen pass to get them started. Close to a first down for Caden Norman.
Sophomore Caden Norman goes out there on offense, gives a little bit of a cutback on the fake run, and they roll him out. They get him running and said, get low and get some yards, big dog. They're able to get the first down.
Pass midfield for a BMC Metalworks first down. BMC Metalworks providing precision machining and fabrication services throughout the Southeast for more than 45 years. Parker Betts. Hands off to Jaden Hurst. They are without the man who would be their starting running back. KJ Chapman is out for the season. One of 3 major playmakers not in the game for Springfield. They're also missing junior receiver Jabraylon Ellis, who has some Power 5 interest, and CJ's younger brother Cam Cobbins, a junior who would be a starter on both sides. So Hurst, the latest in a long line of sophomores to wear a uniform number in the 80s and carry the ball here at Springfield.
That's a fun tradition right there.
He's got a sophomore running mate, Lamarius Dowlin, who we may see at some point tonight. Not to be confused with Lamarius Daniels, who was an 80-something running back here the last 3 years and graduated last year. There's Cobbins on the end around, getting them the ball in creative ways, and he rewards the play call with a first down inside the 30. 3 big playmakers out. C.J. Cobbins is the man, 17 yards.
Now, Cobbins is the man that made this go, but watch the outside blocking. These guys do a great job of selling out and getting to the outside. And if you're going to make contact and not get the outside, run your feet and drive your block. A lot of times people will slow up right before contact. Springfield did a really good job of running their feet there on contact and before. That way they were able to set up the run for Cobbins.
A whistle for a uniform violation against Station Camp. Final minute of the first quarter. Springfield with a big interception and then a touchdown, take a 7-0 lead. Station Camp a touchdown to answer, but missed the extra point. And they will not have to snap the football here. For a Springfield team that is undermanned, they have legitimately half as many players as Station Camp does, despite the fact that Springfield is in a higher class and has the higher enrollment. They're willing to play this game slow, which is not usually their style. But Station Camp wants fast, Springfield wants slow. And Dustin Wilson, a Springfield man born and raised from Coopertown nearby, says we're taking this thing to the second quarter. Springfield 7, Station Camp 6 after 1 on homecoming night in Springfield. You're watching the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law on MyTV 30. Station Camp 7-6. Max Hers, Bruno Reagan, Sammy Kincaid here in Robertson County. Our 2 head coaches, Chris Bain, the first-time head coach of Station Camp this year on the left, took over from his friend Brent Alexander, who resigned and moved out of state this spring. Dustin Wilson on the right side for Springfield, a staple here, also their AD. Coach Bain was there when the team found out that he was becoming the head coach in the spring. The players all wanted him to become the head coach once they found out Coach Alexander was leaving. So Coach Alexander called the team in the field house, told them that he was officially leaving, and finished the sentence with, if you have any questions, ask your new head coach, and pointed at Coach Bain. And they dogpiled him, and he somehow made it out alive. His boys on defense right now, Springfield with the football, and Parker Betts, the quarterback, runs with it on the first play of the second quarter. Just the 4th play of the drive for Springfield. They've already covered 35 yards.
Springfield running a QB counter there. They don't even have a halfback. They just let Parker Betts take it. And I don't know if you noticed there, he didn't even get pulled down. He's a big body. He's able to stay up. So they might keep going with this direct QB run attack.
He plays big. He's listed at 5'10", 165. The 16-year-old, his head coach Dustin Wilson says he's never lacked confidence. And talking to him, it's very obvious. And unfortunately, you can't see the mullet he's sporting. Tackle for loss by Akoe Ellis, the junior D lineman. His older brother Sanders is their superstar linebacker. He's out injured. Akoe is in, and he's leaving bodies in his wake. Jaden Hurst is hurt.
I think it might have been a whiplash situation. We'll take a look right here. Gets behind. Yup, you see that head snap. Very reminiscent to what we saw last year. Pretty scary in the NFL with Tua Tagovailoa. So if you're ever going down, you want to try and tuck your chin. That whiplash is real. It's a real killer right now.
That's Jaden Hurst, the sophomore running back, down injured for Springfield. Athletic trainers from both teams checking on him. We'll take a break while Jaden Hurst is examined.
I plan to keep playing the music I love. But I never planned on Medicare being so complicated. Fortunately, with 75 years of experience helping Tennesseans, the experts at Farm Bureau Health Plans made it easy. So when it comes to Medicare, I know I'm hitting all the right notes.
Farm Bureau Health Plans. Plan on us.
Over $1 million tax dollars allocated to restore Brookmead Park. 8 months after kicking the homeless out, how much work's been done?
Why do you think it's been such a slow-moving process?
Fox 17 News digs deeper into what's taking so long and how your money is being spent tonight on Fox 17 News at 9.
Spotlight on America investigates
If you try, you're going to die.
America's fentanyl crisis.
Monday on Fox 17 News at 9.
Happy to report that moments ago, Springfield running back Jaden Hurst was able to stand up and leave the field with help from both teams' athletic trainers after hitting the back of his head off the turf here at Springfield High. Good to see, Bruno.
Yeah, off of a precaution, I wouldn't expect to see him play anymore tonight. Concussions are a weird thing where there's no tool to really diagnose them. There's some symptoms you can see on and off the field, but for the most part, a concussion, the most dangerous thing you can do is continue to play with one. So if there's even suspect of one, I assume they'll sit him out for the rest of the game.
He was slung down on a tackle for loss by Akoe Ellis on the Station Camp defensive line. Springfield's offense driving. They'll have to do it without their running back here. Their backup running back is Lamarius Dowlin, also a sophomore like Hurst. They're already without their primary running back, KJ Chapman, for the year. Here's Springfield's schedule. Started off with a Pitt Carroll Trophy win over Greenbrier, their 10th straight win in that rivalry. But Bruno, they snapped a 4-game winning streak in the rivalry game against your alma mater, Clarksville, in week 2. That is a good Clarksville team this year.
Absolutely. Clarksville's starting to find some momentum, so thanks for shouting out my alma mater.
They lost a region game to Henry County, who's expected to be at the top of a stacked 5A region. On the Station Camp side, they are 0-3. They only gave up points to Beach in one quarter, but it was a 3-touchdown quarter as they lost that game to one of the best teams in Sumner County. They then went wire-to-wire with Gallatin in a game where they were chasing points the whole way, missed a field goal right at the end and lost by 3. Then lost a region game against Marshall County last week that got Chris Bain to shave his head to look like that, into a mohawk, to tell his boys, hey, we're 0-3, but it's not that serious, and all that matters is what we think of ourselves.
Absolutely. You look at the schedule and the scores, they are a competitive football team. They just need to find some wins to get some confidence as they continue to go on here in the season.
They are certainly a confident group. They may be the most confident 0-3 high school football team in the country. Everything that was on the table for them as this program continues to rise is still on the table, they believe, for a team that made the playoffs 2 years ago for the first time in 7 years. Talking about Station Camp. They're on defense in the white. Parker Betts running for Springfield. Without their running back, Jaden Hurst, Lamarius Dowlin was behind him. The quarterback keeps it. We'll see Betts doing a lot of that. Springfield has a decision to make here on 4th and medium. Looks like 4th down and 4. They're going for it. Timothy Bush and C.J. Cobbins, the 2 receivers to the right on the 4-wide set. Lamarius Dowlin in the backfield with Parker Betts. Hunter Gardner and Tony Pettis to the left. Play clock's at 6. Timeout Springfield.
Good call by Springfield. They went for what's called a frost call. So that's maybe frost or avalanche. That just tells the offensive lineman to key in. It's a freeze. There is no play call. We're just going to try to run to the line, get them to jump. If they jump, we'll either take the delay or a timeout. And Springfield opts for a timeout. Maybe to still talk about this one, see what play call they like, because their run game is kind of operated through the quarterback this drive. If I'm 4th and 4, I wouldn't want to design quarterback run. I maybe want to open it up over the air.
It would be a 35-plus yard field goal if they elect it with Ali Sanganez. We'll see out of the timeout. Stay tuned for the South College halftime report. We'll have this week's Rackley Roofing Scholar athletes, participating school administrator interviews, highlights, and more. South College is where dreams find direction. Always look forward to talking with Dr. Chris Tucker, the principal here at Springfield High School. Not Seymour Skinner, Bruno. He's the principal at Springfield Elementary School. A lot of people get confused about that. And the quarterback is off the field. That means it's field goal time for Ali Sanganez and the Jackets. We'll call it a 34-yarder. It's blocked. Live football for Station Camp. and they've got a chance to return it. Kelton Crisp, a scoop and score.
That's what scares me about field goals at this level, Max. Operation is so important to getting a kick not blocked. Right here, I think you see Springfield, so we're seeing one of the plays that sets it up. But going back to the block kick, on any kick, you need great operation. That means from snap to hold to kick, you have maybe less than 2 seconds to operate off. If you don't, there's going to be someone in your face. And right there, I think Springfield just took too long to kick the football.
Elliott Max with the PAT for the Bison. Made this one after he didn't get a chance to kick the first. A big special teams play for Station Camp. Kelton Crisp on the run back. Let's see who blocked it, Bruno.
Looked like it was over the right tackle. So there was some pressure from the right end, but the right tackle for Station Camp was able to get his hand up and get it kicked.
It was either 44 Okoye Ellis or 7 BJ Alexander. They were both there. Couldn't tell exactly who batted it down.
I had a situation like that where I knew I didn't bat it down in high school, but I claimed it and got it on my stat sheet, so you never know.
Okoye Ellis was there. He's a D lineman. They had a cornerback, BJ Alexander, right next to him. Let's see who blocked this field goal that became a touchdown.
I can't tell. They're both in the position to block it. It's like both their hands were in the same lane.
It was 3 starting defensive players in on that together. Ellis and Alexander, the pressure, and Kelton Crisp, the starting D lineman with the run back. As you see the brothers talking, Sanders Ellis and Okoye Ellis. Sanders out injured. Okoye just blocked that kick. Sanders wanted us to tell everybody that Springfield was saved tonight by the fact that he's hurt. He was born here in Springfield. Okoye and Sanders' dad, Ron, went to high school here at Springfield. Tonight is his 35th anniversary at homecoming. Sanders Ellis is very sad he has to miss this game, but his brother just made a big play. And they are arguably Station Camp's 2 best players. Here comes the best player on the field for Springfield. C.J. Cobbins is everywhere. 97 yards to the house.
C.J. Cobbins says it's audition time right now. We're on the biggest stage with My TV 30 Friday Night Rivals. I'm going to make the plays. I mean, he's single-handedly keeping Springfield in this first half right now. He returns the ball from a questionable 1-yard line, but when it's C.J. Cobbins, it's not questionable at all. Get him any chance to make a big play, and he's going to find the holes and bust it up vertical in the middle.
He even had to take a step back after he caught it. He had to stay out of the end zone. Caught it at the 3. Momentum carried him back to the 1. Took it to the house. Sanganez makes the PAT to put the Jackets back ahead as their big playmaker makes big plays. Special teams touchdowns in short succession for both teams. C.J. Cobbins has offers from UAB, Austin Peay, and Eastern Kentucky. The senior star from Springfield puts his boys back ahead here in the second quarter.
This is what it's like.
School.
If there's a bigger smile in Robertson County than C.J. Cobbins, I don't think we've seen it. The senior just returned a kick 97 yards. He already had an interception with a 60-plus yard run back on defense, and he's the man on offense for the Jackets. Springfield back ahead of Station Camp 14-13. C.J. Cobbins got his offers camping this summer. He was camper number 3,104 at Austin Peay's camp in Clarksville. Was wearing the T-shirt with the Sharpied-on number proudly. He was camper number 3,104, but he left with an offer.
Oh, I've been there. It's a grind. It just speaks to the work this young man puts in to have to go in and kind of do it on your own when you're in that position, especially as a senior.
Cayman Graham on another return for Station Camp, still alive, past the 35. As we go down to Sammy Kincaid.
Hey guys, I was talking to Coach Wilson this morning and I said, hey, you got a couple of brothers that are stepping in for each other today, with CJ Cobbins stepping in for Cam Cobbins. And he said, you know what, that's not the only brothers. Not only does he have his brother Drew on staff with him, there's also Bryce Baldwin, Max Baldwin, Keelan Chapman, Keenan Chapman, CJ Cobbins, Cam Cobbins, Barrett Reynolds, Hayden Reynolds, Nicholas Young, Angelo Young. If you weren't keeping count, that's 10 guys that are siblings on this team of a roster of 69. That's a pretty high percentage. You said, you know what, it's great because whenever the parents are getting heavily involved with the team, it's nice to be able to have their involvement and have them helping so many of our guys stay on track on the field.
It really is awesome, Sammy. It's one of the things that makes Springfield unique. Many of their parents went here, as you see the entire list of brothers, including the brothers who live on the same property in Coopertown that they call Wilson Hill, where they grew up. Dustin Wilson, the head coach, and the athletic director. Drew Wilson, the offensive coordinator. It is a family affair here at Springfield. Defense looking good right now. Luke Dickens for Station Camp spins away. Big block along the way. And Dickens is close to a first down. And he may be bleeding. Yeah, he is. He's bleeding badly.
Yeah, he's going to have to come out for that one. You can't play quarterback like this.
Luke Dickens, the Station Camp quarterback, with a bloodied nose after a big run.
It looked like a rollout pass to the left designed, but then Luke Dickens just had to say, I'm gonna make something out of nothing, turned around, crossed the field, and was able to rush up close to make it a 3rd and short. But right now, we're seeing his current condition. He might not be able to continue this series.
There's their backup quarterback, freshman Gage Lang, who has never played a varsity snap before as quarterback. Meanwhile, we got a measurement. It will be 3rd down and inches.
Luckily for Station Camp, their rushing attack has been really solid. So even if you have a new quarterback, and you might be able to just hang on that rushing attack and open up some easier pass lanes on some more safer downs, maybe a 2nd and short, or now 3rd, especially when you're in midfield. You know you have 4th down to go for also.
I'll correct myself. Gage Lang is a sophomore, not a freshman. Pardon me. And he comes on the field in a big spot here. Quarterback wearing number 86. The backup on the field with Robert Bogus Jr. behind him on a 3rd down and maybe 1 inch. Get your index cards out. It's Robert Bogus Jr. No cards needed. 1st down, Bison. So UA Local 572 1st down for Station Camp. UA Local 572 is the premier trainer of workers in all aspects of the piping, plumbing, welding, and HVAC industry. Two underclassmen in the backfield as a sophomore hands to the freshman Colin Gillespie, and he's going nowhere. Max Baldwin and Lamarius Dowlin in on the tackle for Springfield.
Springfield's going to start bringing in more pressure to try and rattle this younger quarterback right here. 44 and 61. 84 for Springfield, all just coming extremely hard off the edge, playing very little contain.
Taylor Miltier, the senior linebacker and fullback in the mix as well. Another handoff and another loss. Again, it's Lamarius Dowlin on first contact.
Looked like it was either a miscommunication here. It was a trap or a counter play, but it looked like he was being blocked one-sided, handed off the other. Maybe some communication issues from Station Camp with their new quarterback.
Dowlin with back-to-back tackles for loss. The sophomore D lineman and running back. And Springfield calls a timeout. And we're not happy with the alignment of their defense. So we will see after the timeout if if Station Camp's quarterback Luke Dickens is able to get back on the field, Bruno, after getting hit hard and having a bloody nose on the last set.
Yeah, I think that timeout was caused because Springfield is trying to make more, design calls. They're trying to make more design plays that maybe they're not used to making all the time in these certain situations. So the line isn't looking and they're not getting lined up to apply the pressure that the Springfield coaching staff wants.
During the 4th quarter of tonight's game, we'll be selecting the Bart Durham player of the game. Certainly some early candidates. CJ Cobbins in all 3 phases. Luke Dickens, the quarterback for Station Camp, who's developing the warrior mentality as he gets holed up on the far sideline. We'll tell you who wins the award in the fourth quarter. As of now, looks like it'll still be Gage Lang at quarterback on this 3rd and 14 with Dickens out of the game. Sammy is efforting to figure out the injury and extent of the injury to the Station Camp senior quarterback Luke Dickens. So the sophomore Gage Lang is in there, ready to possibly throw his first ever varsity pass on 3rd down and 14. He will throw. Lang sacked. Andy McBrearty takes him down, and it's 4th down.
You can see that you shine through for Gage Lang. Right here, they call a pulling play action. So it's a fake pull play where the guard gets outside. That means the pass rush is going to come from outside. So the second you step up, you have to make your decision on the throw. If you hang at all, you're going to get sacked, and they take the sack right there.
The man with the best senior picture banner I've ever seen hanging here at Springfield High School. He's flexing and gripping the football. Andy McBrearty gets the sack. Punt may have been altered by the rush. And down at the 20. Station Camp thinks it hit a Springfield player along the way, but the refs disagree. Robert Bogus Jr. says, I just scored another special teams touchdown. Let's go! The stripes say Springfield football.
We might be able to get a replay here. We'll take a look. Springfield calls poison. That means get away. And right there, it looked like the ball hit him. It could be a little bit of a weirder camera angle that the ref saw something we didn't, but I thought it might have hit him.
It was McBrearty who just had the sack, who was in the way of the punt. But the call goes in Springfield's favor.
Watch number 8 right there. It hits him on his foot. That should have been a Station Camp touchdown, Max.
Springfield gets the close call in their favor. And will start at their own 20. They've not had the ball on offense in a while. Their last touchdown was a kick return. Parker Betts, the quarterback, hands to Lamarius Dowland, who had those 2 tackles for loss, but is on the other end of one right here. Nick Sullivan, the senior signal caller who wears the neck roll with the TFL.
You love the neck rolls, Max. You're a big neck roll fan. Nick Sullivan right here. You see number 51 cuts right onto the D-line. He stays on the line of scrimmage, but is able to get extension with his right hand and then secure the tackle with his left, allowing his teammates to come and help him secure that one. Gain of 1.
The senior leader, Sully, with the stop. He calls out all their defensive plays, and he does so in a very creative manner with a lot of puns, and it's almost like he's giving spades clues out there when he calls out the sets. Parker Betts for Springfield, throws to Cobbins. He's hit hard, but he caught the football. Close to the marker, but looks like it'll be 3rd and 1. Pushed out by Charlie Minshew.
Cobbins cuts across the field right here. He seemed pretty wide open. Yep. About 10 yards of separation. If Cobbins was able to cut it just up a little bit, he might have been able to get that first down, but they're in a very manageable third and short situation.
It's a gain of 8. A little toe tap for Clarence Cobbins Jr., a.k.a. CJ. 3rd and 1 for the Yellow Jackets in the light gold. Play clock's at 10. Parker Betts keeps it on the play fake and has a big gain across midfield. Needed 1, got 24.
We were talking about the design run game for Station Camp when their quarterback, Parker Betts, is really playing well in their design run game. Just a QB counter where he cuts it right behind the wall of his pulling offensive lineman, goes right down the middle of the field across now. It looks like they're across the 50.
It's a UA local 572 first down for Parker Betts, who has a mullet that you see creeping out of the back of that helmet. The 16-year-old quarterback for Springfield. They've lost 2 games in a row with him starting. The last time the Springfield varsity football team lost 3 games in a row, Parker Betts was 6 years old in 2013. Hand off to Cobbins. Picks up 3.
Some extracurriculars on the edge there. They need to watch out. Might get some unsportsmanlike penalties here soon if the refs and the teams don't control this.
Tony Pettis and Sam Morgan getting to know each other. These teams have not played since 2 cycles ago, so when the current seniors were freshmen, they played. But most of the current seniors did not play varsity as a freshman, so very few of these players know each other in a cross-county game. Both teams on multi-game losing streaks. Station Camp 0-3, Springfield 1-2 after winning their opener. And off to Dowlin. Station Camp saw it coming. Coey Ellis and Brandon Gillespie there as Sammy has an injury update.
Hey guys, an update on both of the players that went down on the Springfield side with Jaden Hurst. You were talking about possible head. It is his right ankle. They were retaping his ankle. He's trying to work it out. You may be able to see him on the sidelines. He's walking it out right now. And the quarterback, Luke Dickens, on the Station Camp side, he has a bloody nose. He just has a cut on the left side of his nose. And if you're able to see that, I would be very careful looking at that one. They're putting a lot of pressure on right now, trying to get the blood out of his nose so that he can go back on the field with it stop bleeding.
Thank you, Sammy. And a flag comes in for a late hit on the quarterback after what would have been a big stop by Station Camp. Charlie Minshew at the tackle, 3 yards short of the first down, and Brandon Gillespie is really unhappy about the call. He was the one who hit Parker Betts. That's important injury info as well. We'll see if Luke Dickens is back in at quarterback next series for Station Camp. So thank you, Sammy, for that.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer, number 12 on the defense. The 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Big penalty for Springfield. Also big for Springfield. Apparently, Jaden Hurst, it was more of his ankle. Did you see that? Watch the play right here. Just barely. If you're the defensive player, you want to line up a little bit on that. And when I played, which was only about 12 years ago, that would have been clean, but it's clear football's making a shift to try and make it safer for defenseless players, quote unquote, which the quarterback is there after he throws the ball. So you don't want to try and get your team in an even worse situation than you already are, which is now on the 30-yard line.
Gillespie off the field. He was visibly unhappy with the call and still is as he talks to some of the defensive staff on the sideline, including his head coach Chris Bain's son, Caleb, over there, who coaches the DBs. It would not have been a first down, but after the penalty, it is a UA Local 572 first down. So the Station Camp 26 for Springfield. Lamarius Dowlin has not gotten anything going since Jaden Hurst went out of the game. Picked up 2 yards there. Kyron Fielder, who we saw in the power eye on offense earlier, gets the stop at nose guard. How about this nose guard, Bruno? 5'10", 196, right in the middle of the 3-4 front.
Some of the best nose guards I've ever played were shorter and smaller guys that can kind of just give you trouble fitting through small holes right there and moving. You see that helmet right there. It's very marked up. You know, they say keep your head out of it, Max. That's what they tell you. But sometimes you just can't help it.
That is awesome stuff for Kyron Fielder of Station Camp High School. Call it a gain of 1 on the last play, 2nd and 9 for Springfield. Betts on the keeper, and another good rush for the quarterback.
Betts running over his own teammate. Hey, if you're not blocking or running your feet, you're in the splash zone, so you got to make sure you keep going. That was Hunter Gardner there on the edge. Just thought it was funny. Another QB design counter. See right there, either get in the way or get out of the way, one of the two.
R.J. Jones, the corner, ushered him out and stopped him short of the marker. It's 3rd down and 1. Getting close to halftime here, and a game with some pretty long possessions. A special team touchdown for both sides here in the second quarter. A blocked field goal touchdown for Station Camp. It was blocked by Coey Ellis, returned by Kelton Crisp. And then immediately after, a kick return touchdown by C.J. Cobbins for Springfield. A rush on 3rd and 1. Did Lamarius Dowlin get the first down? Looks like no. A Coey Ellis who blocked the field goal right in the middle and letting everybody know. It's 4th and 1.
And the clock winding down. We're at about a minute right now. 1 minute and 5 seconds with the clock winding down. They'll probably let the play clock wind all the way down. So if the ball does turn over, or they still have that option for a field goal, but I don't think they're going to after that block, Max.
Decision time for Dustin Wilson on the Springfield High sideline. Final minute of the first half. Springfield has not trailed. Led 7-0. Or excuse me, they did trail 13-7. Bounced right back. As C.J. Cobbins plays some duck, duck, goose to make sure they had 11 guys on, but he'll call a timeout anyway. 4th down and 1 at the Station Camp 17. Their last field goal was blocked, so that's certainly front of mind here for Springfield as they make this decision. Coming up next is the South College Halftime Report with Sammy Kincaid. We will introduce to you our Rackley Roofing Scholar athletes, 2 senior football players, Max Baldwin from Springfield High School and Garrett Relaford on the offensive line, their best offensive lineman. He's got some great academic credentials as well for Station Camp. So Dennis Ferrier will hang out with those guys. We'll interview both schools' principals, show you your first half highlights, and more. South College is where dreams find direction. Station Camp's defense trying to make a stand here with Sanders Ellis, number 4, not in the game, out with a high ankle sprain for this week. He got hurt on the 7th defensive play of their game last week against Marshall County. The defense was very happy with how they played without him on the fly. They played well again tonight without him, Bruno.
Yeah, they're playing really well. I think Springfield's just getting really good explosive plays out of their top playmakers right now. But for the most part, we're seeing a really heavy set and a quick lineup here from Springfield.
C.J. Cobbins ready to take a direct snap. Student body left. On 4th and 1, Cobbins has the first down inside the 10. The speedster does it all, including short yardage.
I was going to say beforehand, if Springfield had any play they like on 4th and short, this is the time to call it right there. And C.J. Cobbins into the Wildcat position. They're going fast now because we're winding down to the half. Spike.
No timeouts left for Springfield, so Parker Betts spikes the football with 25.8 left. Springfield looking to score on both sides of halftime here. They will receive to start the second half. During halftime, we will also acknowledge, along with Springfield, the 30th anniversary of their 1993 state championship team. You see the hats, the white hats worn by the Springfield coaches, are acknowledging that team, debuting tonight here on Homecoming. Parker Betts, the junior, running the show, took over from Devin Crenshaw, their starter the last 2 years, who's now at Bethel University, along with another Springfield alum, Keon Harden, playing there.
Springfield probably has to pass the ball just to manage the clock.
They will. Betts to the end zone to Cobbins. Touchdown Jackets. C.J. Cobbins has made all 3 Springfield scores a reality. It's 20-13 in the final minute of the first half.
If I'm on Station Camp's defense, I know Springfield has no timeouts. I'm going pass, and I'm pointing right at number 24 of Springfield, C.J. Cobbins, because I know exactly where the ball's going and who was wide open. C.J. Cobbins right over the middle. Touchdown for Springfield.
Ali Sanganez nails the extra point, and Springfield has an 8-point lead. C.J. Cobbins, an interception and a 62-yard run back to the 5-yard line to set up their first touchdown, which was scored by Jaden Hurst. Then a 97-yard kick return touchdown. And now this receiving TD in the final minute before halftime.
Last look, a little bit of an RPO. Quarterback fakes the outside run, then plants his foot. Eyes immediately back inside, gives no time for the DBs to read his eyes. Very great play there, also by Parker Betts.
The Wilson Bank and Trust scoring summary. How about a 6-minute drive to take us all the way into the final minute for Springfield? Wilson Bank and Trust is proud to sponsor our local schools and student athletes, both on and off the field. Parker Betts said, C.J. Cobbins is my first look. He's my safest option, and he's everything in between. Why would you throw to anybody else if you're the quarterback of this team?
It's hilarious because technically C.J. was the second read on that play. Parker's first read was on the outside, but he knew C.J. was on the inside, so he didn't have to play with his eyes at all. The second he shot and saw C.J. open, just immediately threw the ball.
Again, Cobbins has offers from UAB, Austin Peay, and Eastern Kentucky. Those are all to play defense as a cornerback. He's hoping for some more. He's right where he wants to be. Looking to turn his senior season around. His team is 1-2 with some key injuries, including his younger brother. He is the constant on a program that is in a bit of a rebuild year with only 7 seniors coming into this season. Sanganez with a pooch kick. And the up man tripped up, trying to return the football. That may have been Cameron Porter. Couldn't tell who it was on the return. And the quarterback, Parker Betts, in on coverage.
That's why the pooch kick works, Max. It gets the ball into people who are not used to holding it. And then a little bit of friendly fire because the returner is not used to blocking either.
Couldn't have worked out better for Springfield. And now Station Camp, with all 3 timeouts, takes the field with 17 seconds left.
Looks like they're in their victory formation, which is just to take a knee.
Their quarterback, Luke Dickens, was injured on the previous series. Does not look like he is on the field here. And they will just take a knee. That was Colton Overby, freshman quarterback, who took that kneel down. Great first half for Springfield on homecoming night. C.J. Cobbins in the middle of everything. They lead 21-13 at the break over Station Camp. In a game between two teams on multiple game losing. Taking a field goal, and a Coe Ellis blocks it, and off goes a pack of bison. Kelton Crisp picks it up and returns the blocked field goal for a touchdown. That gave Station Camp their first and only lead of the half at 13-7, but it was short-lived. Here are the three Springfield touchdowns. They took a 7-0 lead on this 5-yard run by Jaden Hurst, who made it 7-0 Springfield almost exactly halfway through the first quarter. And then after giving up that blocked field goal touchdown, C.J. Cobbins said, I'm going to get those 6 right back on special teams myself. 97-yard kick return touchdown for Cobbins, who set up the first touchdown with an interception and a 62-yard return. He was in the middle of everything for the Jackets, and he was on the end of this pass from Parker Benson, the final minute of the half, to extend the Springfield lead from 14-13 to 21-13 over Station Camp. And Bruno, the stats are pretty even, except for what you see at the bottom. One team has C.J. Cobbins, and the other team doesn't.
Yeah, and I'm not naming any names for our fourth quarter, when we start talking about our player of the game, but C.J. Cobbins might be someone who's in the discussion, just a heads up. But when we look at, it's very even on the rushing, on the passing. It's just been playmakers making plays. You said Station Camp and Springfield were very happy with how they came in and their playmakers. They're still happy about it. Now who's going to show up in the second half and lead their team to victory?
Springfield 21, Station Camp 13 at halftime here in Robco. Each week during halftime of our Friday Night Rivals broadcasts, we'll showcase outstanding Thursday night lights and Friday Night Rivals game highlights from across the country. Let's check out some of the best from last week's games.
The best Thursday night lights and Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country.
All the way back, it's our player to watch, Jameer Thomas, who fields it at the 5. Makes one man miss and another. Look out, Jameer Thomas! My, Bennett! Jameer Thomas! The first play of the season. Brand going for it all. No. He underthrew it a little bit and is still caught. What a catch. What a play.
The first snap of the half is a handoff to the senior Michael Parson, who had the touchdown right before halftime. Gets a little boost from Luke Lehue and pushes the pile way ahead.
Fortune untouched. And it's going to be intercepted. Pick off by Dawson.
Watch this. We were talking about something else. Yeah. Boom. Great tackle. He's like, what? He's the one that came in and made the tackle as well. And, some of those people may say,
seeing Station Camp, and I am joined by Station Camp's head coach, Chris Bain. Coach, not the first half that you wanted, but, your team was competitive. They made some turnovers. That's the one thing that you said you wanted to see today. So what was your message to them in the locker room?
At halftime, I just basically told them let's quit beating ourselves. We gave up a pick 6 pretty much, kickoff return, had not a very smart penalty on a third down, so we just got to clean up the mistakes and we'll be fine. We're playing physical, which is what we want.
And we also talked about momentum and keeping that momentum. So what has to happen at the start of this second half?
We got a kickoff. So we have to cover the kick first, and then we have to play a good defensive series, get off the field. We've challenged the kids. Let's get a 3 and out, make them punt the ball, and let's see what happens.
Well, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sammy, and thank you to Coach Bain. His first interview on MyTV 30 as the head coach at Station Camp. More than 2 decades as an assistant coach in Sumner County, dating as far back as the Portland State Championship team in 2000. Then 14 years at Hendersonville as the freshman head coach for Coach Hatt there. And he came to Station Camp with Brent Alexander, his 4th year on the staff. Now takes over for Coach Alexander, who resigned back in the spring. And he, as we saw before the game, Bruno, shaved his head in a bit of a buzz cut mohawk look. He calls it a mohawk. It's not really a full hawk, but he wanted to give his boys a laugh at 0-3 and tell them it ain't that serious. All that matters is what we think about themselves. It doesn't matter what we look like at 0-3.
I'm going to be honest, Max. It doesn't look too bad on them. It doesn't look too bad. I come from Clarksville. There are a bunch of Army guys. They look bad. He looked good. So
wow. Calling out the Army guys, Bruno Reagan. That's some great stuff. But he took his hat off during practice on Monday. None of the guys had seen it, and they saw it, and all got a big laugh out of it. And the message certainly came home, but he said that his wife, Lisa, who is a breast cancer survivor, had a pink mohawk when she was battling cancer. So both of the Bain parents have now had a mohawk. I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I'm about to say, take a look for yourselves at home right now. It's not a bad look. It's not the worst one in the world. I wouldn't be laughing. Be like, hey, you look good, Coach.
Yeah, he looks good. First-time head coach. He says this is not the hairstyle you'd expect a 51-year-old like him to have, but hey, whole lot of new in his life this year. We saw him in the Josh Houston and Associates Coach's Corner with Sammy. A one-source Scholastic product experience. So great stuff to Coach Fangate, getting to know him and meeting his wife this week. And his crew from Station Camp, who we have not had on television in quite some time. Also want to give a big shout-out to Station Camp father, Josh Corey, who is watching tonight. Our broadcast partner for a long time, soon to be local father of 4. So big shout-out to Josh, who is possibly going to be the Titans center, depending on how things go this year.
Oh, yeah?
He did pass COVID protocol and was the third-string center one time. Sammy Kincaid has some injury updates for us.
Hey, guys. I mean, Josh, I think you'd be great at center. But on the injury side at this game, on the Springfield side, Jaden, he will be out for the second half with a right ankle injury. He will not be returning. On the Station Camp side, Luke Dickens is out for tonight and possibly next week as well. They're not disclosing his injury, but he did have a cut on the left side of his nose, and so they will be monitoring that.
Wow. Thank you, Sammy. So Station Camp without their quarterback for the rest of the game and maybe more. Senior Luke Dickens has gone through a lot of injuries in his high school football career. He was going to be the starting quarterback as a sophomore, but he broke his collarbone on the first day of pads in the offseason when Sanders Ellis hit him hard. He was unable to play at the beginning of the year. Someone else had to play quarterback. He became the running back after missing a month with an injury. And since becoming the quarterback, he tore his labrum in his throwing shoulder twice. Well, now a really bad bloody nose that I think was more than just a bloody nose based on what Sammy reported. And he will not play the rest of the game. So Station Camp without their quarterback, down 8 as we start the second half.
And starting the second half also, we saw we got a little bit of a muff kick right here. So they're trying to stop that return game from Springfield.
So Springfield gets the football first with an 8-point lead here in the second half. Springfield in the gold here at home. Station Camp in the white and maroon on defense. Station Camp led very briefly 13-7 early in the second quarter after blocking a field goal and taking it to the house. But then the ensuing kickoff went to the house. Another good kick return on the last one, as Coach Bain called out. Springfield will start at the 40, and they're going to try and get Lamarius Dowlin going. But Nick Sullivan says no, sir. We mentioned earlier the funny play calls that Sullivan makes, and sometimes he'll get really quiet, and he'll ask his defense mates very politely, excuse me, sir, do you know what time it is? And then they will all answer, yam time.
No way.
In homage to an NFL TikTok that I haven't seen because I'm not cool enough to have TikTok. But it was yam time just now for Sully. So Station Camp without their starting quarterback, Springfield without their starting running back. As Sammy said, Jaden Hurst will not return with what was called an ankle injury. So Lamarius Dowlin, the man in the backfield, has 4 carries so far for 3 yards. And they'll back it up even further.
Offense number 67. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Dustin Wilson, the Springfield head coach, has gotten the ball to his playmaker in all 3 phases. C.J. Cobbins, number 24 in gold, is the reason for all 3 of their touchdowns. You heard Coach Bain on the other side say it. They basically gave up a pick 6. It would have been more fitting if Cobbins had run it in, so he could have scored a touchdown in all 3 phases. The interception return came up 5 yards short. Led to an offensive score, but he's got a kick return touchdown and a receiving touchdown. They fake to him here and get Dowlin a little bit of room for the first time. And the sophomore backup running back has a gain of 7, his longest of the night.
That's the same play Springfield scored their first touchdown with. They bring Cobbins in motion, and then they just give up right to the middle. So it widens out the defensive front, and it allows their running back to get vertical, at least gain 5 to 7 yards, which is really good for a second and long. Now they cut it down to a third and at least manageable, Max.
Lamarius Dowland succeeds another Lamarius D. Lamarius Daniels, who was a running back here, graduated last spring. And Coach Wilson even caught himself dropping the wrong Lamarius D in interviews a couple times this week. Lamarius Daniels, Lamarius Dowland. 3rd and 8 for the Springfield Yellow Jackets. Parker Betts on the QB keeper. Dropped for a loss, but a flag comes in. Jacob Brewer and Akoe Ellis in. And it looks like an offensive hold, but Station Camp will decline.
Holding offense, number 84. That penalty's declined. It brings up 4th down.
Holding on number 84. Yep, right there. Anytime you stop running your feet as an offensive blocker, that's going to scream disaster. So right there, he stopped his feet and still had control of the jersey. It's going to get called every single time. Parker Betts ended up running into him, too, because it was a little bit of a stonewall situation.
Did Jacob Brewer call and one there? Made the stop while he was getting held up pretty strongly. Ali Sanganez's punt takes a good Springfield roll. Dies at the 19-yard line. Station Camp without their starting quarterback. Back on the field, down 8 for their first drive of the second half. Coming up next on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law.
The future is threatened by enemies often unseen.
Taylor Marine.
And unexpected. In the midst of an uncertain and evolving world, the need for Marines to defeat these shifting threats is critical, because the need to ensure stability for our nation has never been greater. When there are battles to win for America's future, there is one constant: Marines.
BMC Metalworks continues its legacy of over 45 years of excellence in CNC machining, steel fabrication, and field support services. BMC's #1 priority is meeting customers' requirements with quality assurance and superior service. Visit BMCMetalworksLLC.com to find out more.
There is a crisis going on in our schools, plaguing every county and every district. Our Crisis in the Classroom series digs deeper into the issues crippling our schools to help find solutions. Watch Crisis in the Classroom on Fox 17 News.
Before the game tonight, Sammy Kincaid with Dr. Tucker giving a $500 donation to our friends at Springfield High School. Great hosts, as always, here in Robertson County as our thank you this week. Bruno, I don't know how everyone who lives here doesn't make Simpsons references every single minute of the day, but they restrain themselves here in Springfield. I'm also surprised you're welcome here as a former Clarksville Wildcat.
I'm not only welcome, everyone was pretty pumped up this evening. You saw me dapping up all the players and stuff. See, I'm just a very personable guy, Max.
Max Hers, Bruno Reagan, Sammy Kincaid here in Robertson County. Station Camp with the football, and they go with the freshman quarterback, Colton Overbay, who loses yards without Luke Dickens in the game, and we check in with Sammy for more.
Hey, Max, I talked to Coach Bain during halftime after I got done interviewing him, and he said, you know what? During halftime, I pulled Colton Overby to the side, and I said, hey, are you scared right now? And he said, am I what? And he said, are you scared? And he said, of course I'm not, Coach. This is what I'm made to do. And that's whenever he said, I knew we were going to come out in the second half and start strong.
I love the confidence from the freshman Colton Overby. We saw their listed backup, Gage Lang, who's a sophomore, for the first series after Dickens was hurt, but now they go with the freshman. They've used multiple freshmen tonight, including running back Colin Gillespie. They had a freshman game last night against Hendersonville. Pulled a couple of guys who they expected to play in the varsity game at halftime. The quarterback wasn't one of them. His first throw of the night is incomplete. Not his fault, though. Looking for Riley Haskins, and it's 4th down.
Good confidence from Colton Overby. Yeah, pretty good pass right here. If you look, he instantly sets his feet on his first read, which was open. Anytime, I always say, if the ball hits the hand, that's on the receiver, and they should catch that, spring out for it. But not a bad opening for Colton Overby. Although on the first play there was a little bit of miscommunication between him and the running back, but they seem to have gotten it fixed.
So a 3 and out for both sides to start the second half. Same way we started the first half. Elliott Max punts to C.J. Cobbins. But again, Springfield's Blockers potentially in the way. They just missed one in the first half. This one rolls in Station Camp's direction to the 33-yard line where Springfield will get started. Reminder that when we are done tonight, turn 13 channels down to Fox 17, where our friend Jill Jelnick will be hosting Fox 17's FNR Football Frenzy, giving you complete coverage of all Middle Tennessee high school football action. Fox 17's FNR Football Frenzy is presented by Wilson Bank & Trust. Wilson Bank & Trust is proud to sponsor our local schools and student athletes both on and off the field. That's from 9:30 to 10, and again from 10:15 to 10:30 tonight on Fox 17 after we are done with Jill Jelnick, Caitlin Miller. Apparently no Big Joe this week. Just to go call the MTSU football game. Get your priorities right, Joe. You're the high school football guy. Okoye Ellis right in the middle. Sits him down. Ellis, a star defensive end in the making. He's a junior. Has college interest from Murray State and Tennessee Tech. His older brother Sanders, out injured tonight, is already committed to Murray State.
Ellis, number 44, right there. He just shoots straight into the backfield. I believe he was supposed to be the trap guy, and the trap guy ran right by him. I don't know if that was him just playing small and then shuffling through the hole, or maybe a miscommunication by the offense. But if the tackle does come to you, you got to secure it, and that he did.
Gain of 1. Another handoff to Dowlin. Brandon Gillespie with the tackle to set up 3rd down and 7. Station Camp's defense is a really confident group despite the fact that the team is 0-3. They have 7 juniors starting on defense. Gillespie, one of just 4 seniors in the starting group. 3 of those 4 are linebackers. Nick Sullivan, their senior captain, said he's so proud of this entire defense and what they've done so far this year.
They are playing great, especially being led by Nick Sullivan. Right now, if I'm Nick Sullivan, I love, listening to the coaches and playing within the scheme, but I'm also pointing at number 24, and I'm like, hey, make sure you watch that guy out there, because 3rd and long, who else would you go to?
Cobbins in the left slot here on 3rd down. A handoff to Lamarius Dowlin with room, and he has the 1st down. The sophomore Lamarius Dowlin gets just enough.
Dowlin, a big hole. So right there what they did is they pulled the outside blockers to make it look like an outside sort of play, and then you cut it back in with the backside running more of a zone instead of a reach style. So it was a great play call by Springfield. Really risky being at a 3rd and 7, but it pays off for them.
Lamarius Dowlin, the only option at running back right now with Jaden Hurst out injured for the rest of the game. Their starting running back, KJ Chapman's out for the year, hurt in preseason. Another handoff to Dowlin, who has plenty of room up the gut. Lamarius Dowlin, still on his feet. Touchdown, Springfield. "56-yard touchdown run for Lamarius Dowlin.
Lamarius Dowlin right here. He reads his block by number 69 on Springfield right there and just cuts it right behind him. That was a great job by Cortavius Herring. And Lamarius Dowlin just simply putting moves on the open field, giving Springfield another player on top of C.J. Cobbins.
That is Dowlin's 2nd varsity touchdown ever. He had one on his first carry of the year and his first varsity carry ever against Gallatin. How about this? 56 yards on TV for the sophomore. 28-13, Jackets ahead.
They said I wouldn't make it without a college degree.
They said only a man could be a roofing executive.
They said a former addict always relapses.
They said my amputation would keep me out of roofing.
They said never give an ex-convict a second chance.
They said I could never be a leader.
They said I couldn't support my family as a single mom.
At Rackley, we say they're wrong.
Want to change the world? Change it, one roof at a time.
I always planned on working with animals, but I never planned on my health coverage costing so much. Fortunately, Farm Bureau health plans helped me get the coverage I need for less. So I can do more with the money I save.
Farm Bureau Health Plans. Plan on us.
56-yard touchdown for Lamarius Dowland makes it Springfield 28, Station Camp 13 in this non-region game between two teams trying to snap losing streaks here on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals. Presented by Bart Durham Injury Law on MyTV 30. There's Lamarius Dowland with the big play. Max Harris, Bruno Reagan, Sammy Kincaid here in Springfield. Coming up in the fourth quarter, our Tennessee Army National Guard play of the game. That might have been it right there. 56-yard touchdown run for the sophomore Lamarius Dowland. Came into the game with 3 carries for 21 yards as a varsity player.
Yeah, it was one thing because Springfield, while Parker Betts and C.J. Cobbins are playing really well, you kind of want to see more people start to make an explosive impact. A lot of people can run 3-4 yards on certain plays, but who's going to make that big play, that game-defining play? And Lamarius Dowland puts his name into the hat and says, I think I got a chance to do it.
This is an undermanned Springfield team with 3 key injuries at the skill positions, needing some guys to step up. But Lamarius Dowland, the sophomore backup running back, just did that. And another pooch kick works well for Springfield. This one is returnable. They're going to say that returner was on his feet. And Cameron Porter goes out of bounds around the 45. We saw Station Camp struggle with a bouncing kick earlier. They handled this one well. The Wilson Bank and Trust scoring summary for Dustin Wilson, who is not part of the Bank and Trust, I don't believe, that bears his name. 4 plays, 66 yards, 2 minutes and 13 seconds, capped by that 56-yard tutty for Dowland. Dustin Wilson in his 12th year as the head coach here at Springfield, going up against a player who was probably still in diapers when he became the head coach here. Freshman quarterback Parker Overby has taken over for Station Camp with senior Luke Dickens out injured. He's pressured and sacked by Demarion Smith. The junior nose, first-year starter for Springfield, has made tons of plays today.
Watch out, the middle of the defense, Demarion Smith, a clear mismatch right there. Size, explosiveness. He hits a quick club, just his outside hand hits the shoulder of the offensive lineman, rips his inside hand through. Easy sack.
Right around the center, Hunter Boswell, who's making his first varsity start today. Open man, Mason Murray has his first catch of the game. Overby with the throw, Murray with the catch, and a big gain for Station Camp down to the Springfield 35-yard line.
I was chuckling a little bit when Overby said, Coach, I'm meant to do this. That's bold for a freshman, but he was really showing some poise in that pocket and delivering some great throws. So keep it up, Overby. He's leading Station Camp on a very good drive right now.
Coming off a freshman game win over Hendersonville last night. Could he get a varsity comeback to boot? Another throw, this one incomplete, through Leighton Lassiter's hands. The last play, a gain of 27 yards for a BMC Metalworks first down for the Station Camp Bison. You see those 2 maroon helmets with no numbers on the right side. Those are freshmen who don't even have numbers on their helmets. Everybody else does. The quarterback, Colton Overby. The running back, Colin Gillespie. Both freshmen on the field right now for Station Camp. And it shows on that missed-time snap count.
Yeah, Max, it's the little things. When you're a new player, you're always, when you line up, you're starting to think about your reads. Okay, I want to make this play, but really, those things should come natural. You have to think about the snap count. You have to think about keeping the offense in operation. You have to think about the formation. How many players are on the field? Those little things. Once you get that done, then everything will come a lot clearer.
Second and 15. Overby throws, broken up by C.J. Cobbins. Who else for Springfield?
If Overby could just get his throws down, maybe every single throw down a foot, it might give a better chance, but Cobbins was on that really well. Cobbins immediately broke on the throw of the ball, allowing him to get some force when the ball came into contact with the Station Camp receiver.
3rd and 15. Overby throws, pass caught for Lassiter. Ball's loose. And the play's dead. They're going to call it an incomplete pass. 4th down.
a lot of wonky moments in this game, Max. We're all kind of just waiting to see what happens. That one, people didn't know if it was a fumble that got hit out or if it was just an incomplete pass, but the pass just falls down incomplete.
So it's punt time for Chris Bain's Station Camp Bison and junior kicker Elliott Max. Nobody deep for Springfield. They're going punt safe here, even on 4th and 15, something that they talked about a lot this week. Station Camp has some fakes in their bag and has used them already in the first 3 games. But Coey Ellis will wave that football as far as he can. Dead at the 8th. Good punt by Max. Coming up in the 4th quarter, we'll highlight the budget break stop of the game. Budget breaks, you could pay more, but why would you want to? Coey Ellis not only downed that punt, but has been involved in plenty of stops for the Station Camp defense. Coey, named after the river in southeast Tennessee and also the Coey flower. He and his older brother Sanders are just 11 months apart. Coey a junior, Sanders a senior. Sanders expected back for their game next week, a region game at home against Greenbrier. We will give another shout out, as we mentioned, 2 siblings being born 11 months apart, to our friend Josh Corey, Station Camp parent, soon to be local father of 4. Shout out to big Josh Corey today and always. Springfield gets started inside their own 10. Up 15 now, a 2-score game. Here's Dowlin, who had the 56-yard carry last time. Gets tackled by the ankles, then Coey Ellis finishes him off up high.
It's important Springfield doesn't fall into a lull of complacency right here. You know, it's very easy to look at the score and be like, okay, we're going to try and run the clock down and maybe run some conservative or vanilla plays or things that were working in the first half that Station Camp might have keyed into. You want to try and sustain these drives, really punish the Station Camp defense and keep them on the field. So that way, when it does come down to the wire, you're able to execute a lot easier.
They had a 6-minute touchdown drive to close the first half. If they do that again here, it'll take them into the 4th quarter. Long way to go, though. Start at their own 8. 2nd and 9. Dowlin not going far once again. Couple of Bison in the backfield, including Kyron Fielder and Nick Sullivan.
Yeah, just a swarm of Station Camp players living in the backfield. Surprisingly, Springfield has been able to gain at least a yard on each of these last 2 plays. So now it's not where you want to be on 3rd down, but it's a manageable down where we've seen Springfield, they're not afraid to give a run onto the outside and then trail it back inside. So their playbook is still open for them.
C.J. Cobbins, their star in the left slot. Dowlin in the backfield. Taylor Miltier, the H-back blocker for Parker Betts, the junior quarterback for Springfield. It's a play fake. Betts met on the edge, gets away from one tackle, and then Sullivan gets him down by the shoulders. A 3 and out for the Station Camp D, and their leader, Nick Sullivan, is bumped up.
That was huge for Station Camp. Station Camp needed with this field position to get off as early as possible. You see number 51, Nick Sullivan. He reads the outside blocker, sees Parker Betts, goes out, and then he beats him to the edge, forcing it back all into the rest of his Bison teammates. The pumped up right there, Nick Sullivan.
Sanganez fields the low snap and does well to get the punt off for Springfield. Bounces around the 40, where Hunter Gardner downs it, along with Camden Hollingsworth for Springfield. And Station Camp will start in plus territory here, Bruno, at the Springfield 44 with a freshman quarterback, Colton Overby, running the show.
With field position here, you just want to make sure you don't turn the ball over as a freshman.
Coming up in the 4th quarter, our Bart Durham player of the game. C.J. Cobbins, obviously our leading candidate right now. Bruno's got his early votes in. Station Camp has something to say about that. Colton Overby wants to be our first ever freshman player of the game. He throws it out to the right side for a first down to Preston Farley. First catch of the game for Farley, the junior, who's their number 1 receiver this year.
Man, Overby, he's playing really poised right now. Watch him shift his eyes left and right, looking for any open read, and then he hits his last one only when necessary, but he has it in the back of his mind. That's really smart quarterback play.
It's a BMC Metalworks first down for Preston Farley from Colton Overby. BMC Metalworks providing precision machining and fabrication services throughout the Southeast for 45 years. Overby throws again. Pass caught by Eric Ginther. How about that? Freshman to freshman. Colton Overby to Eric Ginther. They did it against the Hendersonville freshman last night. Now against the Springfield varsity today.
That is insane that these guys played last night. And here, I love the decision. A lot of times quarterbacks like to try and go big on first down. Go short on first down. Now you can go big on second down.
They'll hand it off to another freshman, Colin Gillespie. And they get the first down. It's Friday night. It's not Thursday. It's not Monday. Whenever the freshmen play in your county, it is Friday, and Station Camp just had 3 freshmen convert a first down all by themselves.
At any level, the difference between freshman and senior, whether it's college or high school, is night and day. That's 13 versus 17-year-olds, and these Station Camp players are playing really well despite that fact.
And the Sprint's home furnishings red zone. Springfield calls a timeout on defense. Was talking to Springfield coach Dustin Wilson before the game about the sheer difference in numbers between these two teams. Station Camp has twice as many players in uniform tonight as Springfield. Injuries regardless. Springfield is the team with the higher enrollment and the higher classification. And talking to Dustin Wilson, he says, I bet they don't even have any freshmen dressed. And I had to tell him, they've got some dressed. I wasn't sure if they were going to play, but we just saw 3 of them. Colton Overby, Eric Ginther, and Colin Gillespie all make plays.
I think that goes back to the whole Mohawk. It always comes back to the Mohawk, Max. The message of the Mohawk. Don't worry about people saying, oh, are you a freshman, or they're going to tailor this, because Springfield is bringing a lot of pressure when their starting quarterback, Luke Dickens, was out. And now they're having to manage playing against these freshmen, but Station Camp's just worried about themselves. Don't worry about any of the injuries. If your number gets called, go out there and play your hardest. And they're doing that right now.
Colton Overby, the freshman quarterback, throws to Mason Murray. First down inside the 5-yard line for Station Camp as the freshman keeps making plays. He wasn't even listed as the backup quarterback coming in. Luke Dickens out for the game after a cut on his face. Low snap. Overby says no problem. It's Freshman Friday for the Station Camp Bison. And they're back within 1 score.
Oh, I love this from Station Camp. That just took me back. I once in a big game accidentally snapped the ball too low, and then my quarterback does the same thing as Overby right here. Just picks it up and runs in. I'll do it myself. Look at the young freshman getting some confidence in there.
And now he will hold on the field goal. Colton Overby gets the game back within 1 score. That is assuming, of course, that the PAT goes in. Overby was the holder earlier on one that he couldn't get down. Duran Riddle the snap. Hold is good. And the kick is good from Elliott Max. 1 possession ball game. Station Camp 0-3. What a comeback this would be. Our Wilson Bank and Trust scoring drive summary. 5 plays, 44 yards, and just 1:19, Bruno.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Not to jump into Springfield right here. You see everyone's pumped up for the freshman Overby right now. But if I'm Springfield, I can't get too vanilla. I can't let these guys get that confidence. I have to stay on the field on offense. So it's even more important for Springfield to execute now, even though they're ahead. Because these Station Camp youngins are pumped up, Max. They want to get back out there.
The big man on campus, Sanders Ellis, the only college commit on the team who's out injured, one of the many, hyping up freshman Colton Overby. So we take another look at his first ever varsity touchdown.
Didn't even get to throw the football. I'm sure that's not how he imagined his first touchdown was, running it in.
On a low snap.
Absolutely, but you get it how you can.
Get that young man some water. And I want to apologize, even if we're not wrong, to Colton's family, because he wasn't even on the depth chart, so I didn't even ask him how to say his name. It's Overbey, so if it's Overbey, I apologize. We're going to stick with Overbey, because that's what Coach Bain said to Sammy when he was talking to him at halftime. Final minute of the third quarter, 1-score game. C.J. Cobbins, the most electric man in the building, takes off. Stepped out just around midfield. Had a kick return touchdown earlier. He'll smile his way to midfield, and he'll settle for a 37-yarder this time.
C.J. Cobbins is a good kick by Station Camp. He fields it like a MLB 30th round draft pick, but at least it's a top-tier player, C.J. Cobbins, and he's just an inch away from getting down the sideline and vertical. This is exactly what Springfield needed to stop the momentum of Station Camp.
He's got over 150 yards of kick return tonight, a 62-yard interception return touchdown, and a catch on offense for a touchdown. His boys back on offense with an 8-point lead. They give it to him straight out of the backfield. Why not? Well, that's why. Akoe Ellis just as good on the other side. Loss of 1.
Yeah, Max, Akoe Ellis is a mismatch in there right now. And he's hilarious. I don't know if you notice, he does delayed reactions to his plays. He'll make a play, he'll get up, he'll wait 5 seconds, and then he'll do the thriller or something. It's very delayed celebrations. I'm a big fan of Ellis right now. Not just of the way he plays ball, the way he has fun doing it too.
He wanted to give out a shout-out to his cousin Kewan White watching tonight. He makes another big play on what will be the final snap of the third quarter. Springfield 28, Station Camp 20. Freshmen making plays. Two teams trying to get their seasons back on track. 4A versus 5A. Fun football here in Springfield. End of 3. Let's take a break for financial literacy with U.S. Community Credit Union.
U.S. Community Credit Union is a local financial institution dedicated to investing in the future of the next generation. Through partnerships with area high schools, students work for the credit union and learn valuable on-the-job skills, helping them prepare for the next phase of their life.
Thank you for helping me be prepared.
Thank you for caring about my future.
Thank you, U.S. Community Credit Union.
U.S. Community Credit Union, because your future matters.
BMC Metalworks, an industry leader in CNC machining, steel fabrication, and field support services, offering a new beam drilling equipment, new mold tool maker machine, and the Dragon CNC plasma tube and pipe cutting system. Visit bmcmetalworksllc.com.
The future is threatened by enemies often unseen.
They alert Marines.
And unexpected. In the midst of an uncertain and evolving world, the need for Marines to defeat these shifting threats is critical, because the need to ensure stability for our nation has never been greater. When there are battles to win for America's future, there is one constant: Marines.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
I'm Eugene Ramirez. Tonight on the National Desk, America's News Now. A Philadelphia police officer charged with murder. The graphic body cam video and what the family is demanding. Plus, aging Americans are leading the nation. The fact check team with the latest poll revealing new concerns impacting elections. Tonight on the National Desk, America's News Now.
Over 8,000 episodes, more than 500,000 clues, 2 hosts.
Let's play Jeopardy!
1 Jeopardy! Weekdays at 6 on MyTV30.
Closed captioning for tonight's game is brought to you by the Protein Snack Shop. Healthy never tasted so good.
Fourth quarter here in Springfield. Nick Sullivan's telling the boys it's yam time here in quarter number 4. Springfield 28, Station Camp 20. Max Hers with former Clarksville, Vanderbilt, and XFL offensive lineman Bruno Reagan. Sammy Kincaid is down on the field, and she's working hard to get us ready for the fourth quarter. What do you got, Sammy?
Hey, guys. Akoe Ellis that you just saw have that big play. He ran over right to his big brother, as you've been talking about, with Sanders Ellis. And if you look at Sanders on the sideline, he has a clipboard in hand. He has a headset because he is coaching the linebackers tonight. He said that he wants to be a coach one day whenever he grows up. So Coach has given him the opportunity tonight since he is injured on the sidelines. He's having a blast over there, and Coach said his main goal for Sanders tonight, though, is to be the hype man on the sidelines, and he is very much so doing that.
Thank you, Sammy. And talking to both brothers this week, they are both capable of coaching and hype and everything in between. Sanders expects to be back from his ankle injury next week. Probably would have played tonight if this were a region game, and was lobbying to do so because he was born here in Springfield. It's his dad's 35th anniversary tonight at Springfield Homecoming, but he's part of the coaching crew, a part of the hype crew. He was guarding the 50-yard line during warm-ups, intimidating everybody. He just said, make sure everybody out there knows that Springfield was saved by my injury tonight.
That's a bold comment, but I can always appreciate the bold, just as fortune does.
He's committed to Murray State. His head coach, Chris Bain, said early in the summer before he committed, I think there may be some bigger offers coming. So shout out to Murray for having him. We will see if anybody else comes in at beyond the OVS level, possibly some FBS too, for the star inside backer, excuse me. He'll be back for station camp soon. Backside pressure forces an early throw. Good coverage by DJ Alexander as they were looking for Cobbins. Alexander, the junior corner, the cousin of their previous head coach, Brent Alexander, who resigned in the spring. Junior potential Power 5 player coming in a couple years.
Looks like the Springfield offense is staying on the field.
They will. 4th and 5.
Different quarterback in right now, too.
It's Tony Pettis, who is one of their punting options. This may be a quick kick or some sort of fake. But whatever it wasn't what Springfield wanted. They call a timeout.
They had a misalignment issue right there. We saw C.J. Cobbins was yelling to the sideline like, who's supposed to be lined up here?
Dustin Wilson will get things sorted out. Got the right people on the field, but they're down to just one timeout here early in the fourth quarter. Friday nights following Fox 17 News, tune in for Fox 17's FNR Football Frenzy for complete coverage of all Middle Tennessee high school football action. Fox 17's FNR Football Frenzy presented by Wilson Bank and Trust. Wilson Bank and Trust is proud to sponsor our local schools and student athletes, both on and off the field. When we're done tonight, tune in to Fox 17. Jill Jelnick will have you covered from 9:30 to 10, and again from 10:15 to 10:30 every Friday night. The only local news station still going that long on high school football. So shout out to everybody, TV and radio, covering high school football. Special to be a part of. Next week, we will be in Wilson County for a big region game at Lebanon High between Green Hill and Lebanon. 2 weeks from now, we'll be going country down to 2A, Smith County and East Robertson back here in Robertson County on Friday night, September 22nd on TV. They will punt after the timeout. Sanganez gets a good roll inside the 10-yard line and down inside the 5. Special teams has been good tonight.
Absolutely. And you want to talk about the freshmen from Station Camp and how well they performed? Here's their biggest challenge yet, driving the ball 95 yards. Anytime you start from the 20, the 25, or the 30, your odds, I've seen the numbers, they're around the 70% chance to score, whether that be a field goal or a touchdown. When it's at 95 yards, your odds exponentially fall. So it's going to take a lot of poise right here.
Freshman Colton Overby, the third-string quarterback, in for injured Luke Dickens, led a touchdown on his last drive. Incomplete here, throwing to a fellow freshman, Colin Gillespie. They had 3 freshmen touch the ball inside the 30-yard line last drive. And we mentioned earlier the Bear helmets. The right side of the helmet has a number for everybody for Station Camp. Unless you're a freshman, you don't have a varsity number. Well, right now, the quarterback and the running back both don't have numbers on their helmets. They're both freshmen. Mason Murray can't make the one-handed catch, but there is a flag. Andy McBrearty in coverage may have been a little handsy.
It looked a little handsy from both. Once we get this replay, we'll be able to decipher, but most likely on the defense here. Here it comes. Watch the bottom of your screen right here. Yup, a lot of pulling right here from the Springfield yellow jersey. So
defense number 8. It's a 15-yard penalty for the previous spot. The yardage is enough for a first down.
That's a free way to get out of your backed up situation. Now the offense can operate on a more normal stance.
How about Murray almost catching that with one hand?
Absolutely. Hey, always try and make the play.
Overby's throwing to Murray again, a little too far. I think the throw was right where it should have been.
For what it's worth, Overby has to put his whole heart and soul to throw this ball to try and get that distance, but he is accurate with it. Just maybe a yard off of that throw, and that could have been a Station Camp go for a touchdown.
Last drive, it was Overby, freshman running back Colin Gillespie, and freshman receiver Eric Ginther all in the mix on a Varsity Friday for a score. Good breakup by Demarion Smith. He's had a couple tackles around the line. Now a big paw to bring up third down.
Rolling out. If you can't get to the quarterback, always get your hands up.
Demarion Smith been great tonight on the Springfield D-line. Station Camp with the ball down 8. Pressure and a sack. Hayden Reynolds was first. Alan Dickerson finished the job. Fourth down.
Station Camp lines up in scat protection. That means they only have 5 protectors, and Springfield rushes 6. So adding the twist game to a 6-on-5 rush, if you're the quarterback, Overby, you got to get the ball out. That's just Springfield trying to pressure the young and put him in stressful situations. Really good play call.
Hayden Reynolds, a key player for them this season. Punt is off from Elliott Max. Another one not returnable for C.J. Cobbins. The punts have been very good from Max. Springfield getting the football back up 8. Under 10 minutes to go here in Robertson County. Fun one going in week 4 here on MyTV 30.
It's time to reveal the FNR Rackley Roofing Scholar Athlete of the Year.
Rackley Roofing is honored to give a $10,000 scholarship for the Scholar Athlete to KJ Wood out of Watertown. To have somebody like KJ Wood in our community giving back and just being such a great student, it's amazing. We love giving this award away each year, and this year is no different. Congratulations, KJ.
Thank you. I really do appreciate this.
Congratulations, KJ. You are this year's Scholar Athlete of the Year.
Welcome back to Springfield. It is 28-20 Springfield over Station Camp early in the fourth quarter. Max Hers, Bruno Reagan, Sammy Kincaid here in Robertson County. Always great to be in Springfield, a vibrant, diverse suburban community about half an hour north of Nashville, split between agriculture and industry. Fun to be here in Springfield. And great to be with Station Camp this week as well as they travel on the road. Station Camp High is in Gallatin. It pulls from both Hendersonville and Gallatin and is now down in 4A as they lost a whole lot of student body to Station Camp. Or excuse me, to Liberty Creek, not to Station Camp, which opened last fall. Springfield on offense in the gold uniform, Station Camp in the white. It's a play fake for quarterback Parker Betts, who's hit but able to fall forward through Brandon Gillespie and Nick Sullivan. For a first down gain of 4, Springfield looks to eat some clock here, Bruno.
You said it best, Max. Springfield's going to have to stick to the rushing attack, and if they do pass anything, it's going to be those with a check down at the very least to complete, maybe not for a yardage gain, but whatever you do, keep that clock down. They're in good field position as it stands right now to punt and back up Station Camp, and it's an 8-point game, so they have every advantage right now to play it conservative at this point. You don't want to sell out too early, but right now is a good start to be able to start thinking, okay, we can play towards the gamesmanship right now.
Got the play clock down to single digits. 9 minutes left in the football game as C.J. Cobbins goes in motion. The handoff is to Lamarius Dowland for a first down. A UA local 572 first down for the sophomore who had a 56-yard touchdown in the third.
Great job by Lamarius Dowland here. He outruns the guy who's attacking the mesh and is able to drift past 2 people in the second level, able to get some extra yards. We're at this point right now where you want, there we go, you see Springfield slowing down the clock. Those explosive plays are great, and if Springfield scores, they're up 2 scores, so you don't have to stop or do anything, but it's not bad if you're getting 5-6 yards and just moving the chains, giving Station Camp less and less time to work with.
Dowland approaching 100 yards tonight on fewer than 15 carries. Gets his 14th touch, a flag comes in as he falls forward. For a Springfield team that has lost back-to-back games. This one's coming back.
Hate to have a penalty in a situation like this. This is the most important part of the game where you get to churn out the most clock, maybe separate yourselves and force Station Camp to really get out of their mojo. Maybe have to consider things like onside kicks.
Number 58. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
It's against the center, Gage Wilkes.
Now you got to climb back 20 yards. Watch the center right here in the middle of the, just ever so slightly. If you're falling, try not to bring them down with you because that's the easiest call to make right there.
3 seniors. Wilkes, the only junior on the offensive line. Right tackle Cortavius Herring, who Bruno has complimented a couple times tonight, is only a sophomore. Cobbins in motion on 1st and 17, and he gets the football. He's hit in the backfield and taken down by Alec Manning. They had everybody over there blocking. Alec Manning said, I don't care.
Super smart by Alec Manning. He goes to where C.J. Cobbins is going to be. You see his pursuit angle? That is extremely smart football. He's not following Cobbins. He's going to meet him at the point of attack. Very good play by Station Camp to back Springfield up even further.
At full strength, Manning is a starter at outside linebacker. He's moved inside to Sanders Ellis's spot, which he had for most of last week after Ellis was hurt in the first quarter. Now all night tonight. It's been impressive there. Gotta imagine he will keep that role next year when he's a senior and Sanders Ellis is playing college football. It's a loss of 4. 2nd and 21 for Springfield. Hand off to Josh Philippe, his second touch of the game. Going to the 3rd-string running back, Philippe, who's a junior. Typically a short yardage back and a blocker, but with Jaden Hurst out injured, he's their number 2 back right now. Has had 2 touches tonight, 3 so far this season for Philippe. Running back and a defensive end, who we saw make a play on defense in the first half. Only got 1 yard there. It's 3rd down and 16 for Springfield, who's already taken 3.5 minutes off the clock on this drive.
Whatever Springfield does here, they need to make sure they just get the ball down. No drop passes, no incompletions.
Cobbins in the right slot. They'll hand it to Philippe again, trying to get some space for him, and he's dragged down about 7 yards short of the first down. R.J. Jones with the tackle on a 3rd down run. It's 4th and either 6 or 7 here. What's Springfield going to do?
Switching to this formation they had trouble lining up in last series, Max.
Tony Pettis, a receiver who also can punt, ready to take the snap. Station Camp thinks it's a punt. They've got somebody back. It's Willis Bell going all the way back, and Pettis does punt the football. So Bell, one of the safeties, won't have a chance to play it. It's down at the 10. And Station Camp gets the football back with 5:46 to go. The Bison down 1 score with a freshman at quarterback. Will try and tie this game with a touchdown and 2.
BMC Metalworks continues its legacy of over 45 years of excellence in CNC machining, steel fabrication, and field support services. BMC's #1 priority is meeting customers' requirements with quality assurance and superior service. Visit BMCMetalworksLLC.com to find out more.
Getting the right new windows with Pella was simple.
Yeah, when renovating a drafty old house, it can be hard to find great people.
Our dedicated Pella advisor was a godsend.
We had confidence in Pella. They sold over 5 million replacement windows and doors.
So we knew our local team would be on top of every detail.
And the installation was done in just a day.
Mom, the kitchen sink's broken again.
I wish Pella did plumbing.
Hurry, replacement windows are on sale now. Schedule a free in-home consultation for details.
If you've been injured, Morgan & Morgan makes starting a claim easy. You don't even have to leave your couch. Done. Just dial pound law or go to forthepeople.com to get started. Now back to this.
All of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful sponsor partners, the Tennessee Army National Guard, Bart Durham Injury Law, and Rackley Roofing, who through their contributions to this program make these games possible for you viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great sponsor supporters for their contributions to our 2023 Friday Night Rivals telecasts. The Protein Snack Shop, BMC Metalworks, UA Local 572, Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, Wilson Bank and Trust, Sprint's Furniture, the United States Marines, Action Nissan, Western Kentucky University, Budget Brakes, U.S. Community Credit Union, and Josh Houston and Associates. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support.
Get on the ball!
Welcome back to Springfield. Overby hit on 1st down, and lucky that was just an incompletion there, Bruno.
Absolutely. So right now, Overby is going to have to really – they don't have a lot of time on the clock, so Overby is going to have to manage a pretty good drive here that has to see some points on the board.
Freshman quarterback. Intercepted.
Guess who?
C.J. Cobbins his second pick of the night. Springfield didn't have an interception on defense in any of their first 3 games. He wanted one this week. Now he's got 2.
Overby right here sees the rush and throws to where he thinks the route is. He doesn't get enough eyes to lead the ball, and C.J. Cobbins gets the turnover for Springfield. Red zone field position, a chance to slow this clock. Station Camp still has 3 timeouts.
2 picks tonight for Cobbins, plus a kick return touchdown and a touchdown on offense for the future D1 corner, with offers from UAB, Austin Peay, Eastern Kentucky. There's got to be more coming in the Sprints Home Furnishings red zone. Betts keeps it. Fooled everybody on the Station Camp defense. He's hit. Fumble inside the 5. Flags all over the place, and Station Camp recovers in the end zone.
I believe it was a face mask on Betts, Max. We'll see the call here shortly. But at one point, Betts' head turned around like an owl.
He got absolutely drilled inside the 5-yard line and lost the football on what looked like it was going to be a touchdown. The ruling on the field before the penalty is a fumble recovered by Station Camp.
Watch Betts right here. Watch his face mask. Yup. And that's exactly when the flags were thrown.
The big hit came from Brandon Gillespie, who forced the fumble, but it may not count as R.J. Jones grabbed him by the face mask before then. Here's the call from our white hat official, Brian Story.
Come here.
He's going to get all the refs together first. Head coach Chris Bain with his son right next to him. Defensive backs coach Caleb Bain. Hoping this penalty is somehow not against his boys and they can get the football back here in the 4th quarter down a score. Props to our white hat Brian Story, wanting to make sure he gets the whole story and they get this call right. Brian Story, Dino Devers, Dennis Robinson, John Veltri, Matt McWhorter, William Spain, and Rod Hubbard. Our 7-man officiating crew tonight. Called the game well. They have not been a big part of it. Here's the call.
A personal foul, face mask on the defense. That's penalized half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. It's a first down for Springfield.
No fumble. Personal foul, face mask against Station Camp. Watch number 15 in white.
See that right palm turns the head. And that might have been the cause for the fumble because you see it's on the backside where Parker gets hit. Maybe if that face mask doesn't happen, he has eyes, and that's why you can't commit these kind of penalties right here in this situation.
So it will be first down and goal. Wouldn't have mattered what variety of face mask it was. It still would not have counted as a turnover. It's a UA Local 572 first down on the penalty. Down to the 2-yard line for Springfield High, looking to make this a 2-possession game once again. Betts the quarterback, Lamarius Dowlin the running back. Taylor Miltier into block. Betts keeps it. Touchdown, Springfield. Springfield hasn't lost 3 varsity football games in a row since that guy was 6. Well, now Parker Betts has found the end zone to try and end that losing streak.
I know I've been talking a lot about CJ tonight, but Parker Betts, what a great night from him, too. He's been a threat over the air when he's been asked to be, but he's also a huge running threat. And just giving that option to your offense in those short situations, it means all the difference. Oh, right here we have a fake punt, or fake field goal, excuse me.
Bad snap. Sanganez tried to run, wasn't going to get too far with it. So it is a 14-point game. Both teams have now missed a PAT. And we're back towards normal numbers at 34-20, a normal gap between the two with 5:22 left. Our Wilson Bank and Trust scoring summary after the interception. 2 plays, 17 yards, just 13 seconds off the clock. Parker Betts kept it himself on both. One, he was grabbed and then fumbled, and then it all came back, and he walked over the goal line.
Untouched.
Springfield coach Dustin Wilson said about Parker Betts this week, who, remind you, is a first-year starter for a 1-2 team. Quote, he's never lacked confidence. He's a confident dude. He knows his team is going to turn it around and end that losing streak.
That's something about all these youngins in this new generation. They're all super confident. When I was playing Max, I had D1 offers, and I was not a confident player at all. I was a nervous wreck half the time, and even sometimes in college in those big stadiums. So shout out to these young men, because these guys are some big time playmakers, and in a big situation. We're on TV right now.
And now the quarterback, Betts, who's also played a lot of defense tonight, will cover this kickoff.
That's insane, a quarterback playing both ways. That is unheard of.
And special teams. It wasn't really the plan for this year, but they're missing 3 possible DBs, so he stepped back into that role that he had last year. Another short kick returned by Cameron Porter for Station Camp, who's become the de facto return man tonight as they've kicked away from the deep guys. And Station Camp down 14. Will start this drive. Looks like at their own 38-yard line with 5:15 to go.
If Station Camp has any 2-minute offense in their sort of playbook, any plays they like, any operation they have where they can get to the ball and maybe make one more play calls, now's the time, because they're down 2 with only about 5 minutes left. Luckily enough, they have their timeouts, but they got to cover a lot of ground.
Their offensive scheme is a fast, high tempo, but plan A is not to have a freshman at quarterback. Colton Overby threw a pick last series. He has a completion to fellow freshman Eric Ginther. Second catch of the night for Ginther in his first ever varsity game. Ginther's older brother Ryan plays baseball at Vanderbilt. We heard the football staff had tried to talk the elder Ginther into playing receiver for football. He said, no, just baseball. And now the younger brother, Eric, only wants to play football. He doesn't want to play the sport that his brother is playing for the best college program in the country.
Snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Back it up 5 after the catch and run went for 21.
Some operation issues in this 2-minute offense. Trying to go quick with a freshman quarterback.
Down 2 touchdowns. Station Camp on the move. Colton Overby screens to freshman running back Colin Gillespie. Gillespie able to pick up 7 as Hayden Reynolds tracks him down. Keenan Chapman in on the tackle as well.
Station Camp running up to the football, ready to snap.
Overby. Lets it fly to Preston Farley inside the 5. The Bison are alive and breathing.
Preston Farley did a really tricky thing offensive players can do to get away with a little bit of interference. He slows down to let number 24, C.J. Cobbins, run into him and use that to kind of boost it without having to extend his arm, so it kind of hides an OPI. He got away with a little bit there, but that's just smart football play.
First and goal at the 1. Now back it up. Both the running back and the quarterback were nailed. The QB kept it. Jack Holt and Andy McBrearty smothered him. Loss at 2, second and goal from the 3 with under 4 minutes left.
If they're able here to score soon, they won't have to try anything onside-wise. They might have enough timeouts to just deal with the normal field of play.
Overby hands. Did he ever get the handoff? I don't know. What happened at the mesh point there, Bruno?
That's just freshman and freshman right there. You have to set your feet. It looked like he was. So watch Overby right here. Number 20 gets a little bit of a low snap, and the ball he just never trusts to let go of the ball right there. So it just keeps it at the mesh.
Well, no read here. Empty backfield for the freshman quarterback. To the end zone. Touchdown, Station Camp to Eric Ginther. Freshman to freshman. It's a 1-score game with 3:14 left in the 4th.
Overby's really good with his eyes. He rolls out left, keeps his eyes left, and then shoots him on the middle when he sees his left route crossing across the middle, and it beats the over the middle defender. He goes right underneath him, cuts in front of him, makes it for an easy Station Camp touchdown there.
Extra point from Elliott Max is good. First varsity touchdown pass for Colton Overby. First varsity touchdown reception for Eric Ginther. Freshman to freshman. This is real life right now. The freshmen are getting it done on a Friday night for Station Camp as they stay alive in this game that they have trailed most of the way. The Wilson Bank and Trust scoring summary, 62 yards in 2 minutes, Bruno. They moved quickly.
It's one thing to be asked to be a freshman and go out here and play on a Friday night in a varsity. It's another thing to be asked to go on a game-winning drive. It's another thing to be asked to be down 14 and have to operate 2 game-winning drives, essentially, and they got their first one down, so now they have to chip away at this next one. We'll see if they trust the Station Camp defense to get it done in a 3-down, or if they opt to just try the onside kick here, Max.
Eric Ginther had 3 touchdown catches last night in the first half of the freshman game against Hendersonville that Station Camp won. They didn't play him in the second half because they thought they might need him at defensive back some tonight. Well, he's turned into their number 1 receiver, and he's catching passes from the same guy who threw him the touchdowns last night in the freshman game, Colton Overby.
This is a story of next man up. Next man up. It was the story going into this game for both of these teams, and they've all really answered the call. 2 teams that have been decimated by injuries, not only before the game, but during them. And I think all these youngins have answered the call. These teams have learned a lot about themselves tonight.
Springfield lined up here in anticipation of an onside kick. Gavin Hastings, the freshman kicker, bounces it, and it's recovered by Springfield. So Springfield gets the ball back with 3:14 to go. Station Camp would have loved to recover it, Bruno, but as you said, they didn't have to try that. They didn't need to get that one with 3 timeouts left.
Yeah, but Springfield right here, I don't think they're not operating too well on their field goals, so they're going to have to really get into the 15 or 20, and at that point the game would be over. So for Station Camp, this field position isn't the worst right here. They will have to use their timeouts, and if they use their timeouts, they're not going to have them on offense to cover all this field. But they obviously, that's probably the best case scenario they got. So it's an unfavorable situation, but it's the hand they're dealt.
Springfield on offense in the gold with a 7-point lead on homecoming night here in Robertson County, Springfield, Tennessee. Hand off to Lamarius Dowland to get the drive started. And a good first down game. And a timeout immediately from the Station Camp sideline.
If you're Station Camp, you hate to see that many yards on first down. You're going to have to really sell out for the next few runs. And then Springfield, they can also make a choice to maybe open up a big pass, a surprise. All the cards are in Springfield's hand right now.
Here's the Station Camp schedule. They are 0-3 with 4 big region games coming up in a region that includes 4A powerhouse Pearl Cone as Station Camp moved down from 5A to 4A this year. Their coach Chris Bain says this is where we should be. This is where our school fits in 4A. They had their most playoff success when they were in 3A. That was the last time that they advanced to the 3rd round of the playoffs, was when they were in 3A. They haven't won a playoff game since 2013. And even though they lost a region game last week, Bruno, they believe that everything on the table for them as this program continues to grow is still on the table, even at 0-3.
Yeah, well, they haven't even. I think they've only had 1 region game up to this point, Max. So the entire season is wide open, especially another game like this tonight, where it's non-region and you have so many people injured. We might see a totally different Station Camp the rest of the season than what we're seeing today.
Yeah, see if these freshmen stick. Springfield 1-2 on the other side. A season-opening win over Greenbrier and a blowout loss at Henry County last week in their region opener. They are in, without a doubt, the toughest region in 5A, with Beach and Hendersonville coming down and Henry County hopping in. So that'll be interesting to watch as the season goes on. And another tackle for loss for Station Camp. That's Jacob Brewer in the backfield, and an immediate timeout once again.
Right here, just a counter series from Springfield. A little bit uninspired because everyone knows the ball, everyone knows where it's going at this point. So Springfield's just trying to eat these timeouts and then probably go for a field position punt here to force these freshmen of Station Camp to try and win the game.
What a goofy game this has been. Both teams with a key injury, back and forth, a special teams touchdown for each side, some big defensive plays, and the freshmen taking it over for Station Camp against a Springfield team that is also very shorthanded at the skill positions. It has been C.J. Cobbins, Parker Betts, Lamarius Dowland leading the way in those spots for Springfield against some dudes from, you ready to feel old, Bruno?
Yeah.
The class of 2027 for Station Camp. Lamarius Dowland, a sophomore for Springfield, approaching 100 yards. A lot of guys have stepped up who nobody had heard of. Dudes who were not in the scout for the opposing team tonight. Dowland had rushed 3 times in varsity games coming in. He will likely have the football here once again. That's fakes it and keeps it and is tackled down by Akoe Ellis and company. Ellis did not bite the fake. It's 4th down, and Station Camp uses their final timeout. What a defensive stand for the Bison.
Who else can make the play? We talk about all the youth and all the inexperience and the new faces. Well, Ellis has been a face all tonight, all in the backfield, and who else to make the biggest play that Station Camp defense can make tonight than to force the punt to give your offense a chance to go down to tie or even potentially win it, depending on how Station Camp calls it.
Ellis says he's always wanted to be a leader. He got that opportunity tonight with his brother, the star linebacker, out injured, who's right there. Sanders and Akoe Ellis living it up together. He is led by his actions and by his voice, too.
Absolutely, that's what you need, especially because you see all the time, at different levels of football, maybe an injured guy might go. Some have been put in boxes, some have been put in the stands. I've seen everything. But if you're on the field and you're able to just, keep the energy up on the sideline, especially when things are looking a little bit grim, like how it has been tonight for the Station Camp team, sometimes just having that older voice, just keeping people in the middle is all you need.
Ali Sanganez punts for Springfield and gets the kick off. I don't think we've had a single punt return tonight, Bruno, have we? We've had a lot of kickoffs returned, but all the punts have been allowed to bounce.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I don't think we have. It's been very good punts. You said it best. I think on all of our MyTV 30 games, the special teams have been some of the brighter spots for a lot of these teams. So,
well, it could be a special night for Station Camp if they can somehow come back and win this game to snap their offer so far this season under first-year head coach Chris Bain. It would be his first win as a varsity head coach. And he's doing it with a freshman at quarterback after their senior starter, Luke Dickens, got hit in the face. His nose was bleeding like crazy in the first half. Sammy Kincaid reported that he will not return to the game and may miss some more time down the road. They went briefly to Gage Lang, but now they've gone with the freshman Colton Overby, who throws to Colin Gillespie. Close to the marker, and it is a first down to start the drive.
Now no more timeouts. They have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to operate this offense down the field.
The freshman Colton Overby in the backfield by himself with 5 wide. Throws it over the middle. It's caught by Eric Ginther. All 3 freshmen have touched the ball in the first 2 plays. This is absolutely nuts.
Imagine, this is insane right now.
Last night, they probably were not happy that they couldn't play in the second half of the freshman game. It was for a good cause. They need him tonight. This one's incomplete. Alan Dickerson in the backfield with the quarterback hit.
Important for Overby. Incompletions they're not bad in this situation. Those are essentially timeouts, all right? So you don't need to force anything because you saw Overby right now. If we look at his stats, 12 completions out of 22 attempts, 149 yards, and he has a touchdown on the feet, touchdown through the air. He also has an interception right now, and I just want to clearly state, if I'm his coach, I'm like, calm it down, use these, just throw those balls away.
Overby again. Screen pass to Gillespie, the freshman running back. Gains 7, it's 3rd and 3. When they went to Overby coming out of halftime after the sophomore Gage Lang initially came in for Dickens, he told his head coach, Chris Bain, I meant to do this. The freshman is him right now, for better or for worse, and he picks up a first down. Another freshman-to-freshman pass. Colton Overby to Eric Ginther for his 4th catch, all in the second half.
Right here, puts his eyes, slant route across the middle. Watch him clock it right now, too. On the field, we get a clock, so that's a down. Flag on the play.
We'll see if something was wrong with the alignment on the spike here. Did you see anything, Bruno?
Maybe they weren't all set. It came from the left side of the offense. Looks like the referees are discussing what happened right now.
The spike was allowed to happen, and the flag came in right at that point. 3 officials talking right around the spot of the football at midfield. Here's Brian Story with the call.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
5 more yards for Station Camp, and they don't even have to spike it, so it's 1st and 5 at the +45. touchdown would tie it. No timeouts left for the freshman quarterback, Colton Overby. It's broken up, but flags fly in.
Yep, that's a clear defensive pass interference right there.
Andy McBrearty guarding Colin Gillespie, the intended receiver. McBrearty, number 8 in gold, maybe the guilty party.
Pass interference. Defense,
you see the
number
hands
8.
right there on the back.
15-yard penalty.
If he just didn't put his hands on the back right before
enough
that,
for a first down.
Would have been a clean play. But since he planted and influenced his body before he was able to touch the football on the offensive side, that is a defensive pass interference.
First down on the penalty to the 30-yard line for Station Camp. The throw is incomplete. Pressure by Matt Gregory, the senior D tackle. Forced an early throw.
Those throws are scaring me. Overby seeing that pressure, and instead of throwing it away on a first down, he's trying to make these big plays, and that's throwing the football up right here. That was a prayer. He's lucky the defense wasn't in a different position.
He's looking for Riley Haskins, who doesn't have a catch tonight, but has been on the field almost every snap. Overby again, has his man. It's Eric Ginther. Catch number 5 for the freshman from his classmate, and it's a first down into the Sprints Home Furnishings red zone.
I wonder if Overby and Ginther are connecting so much because Ginther's the best player on the field, or because he's like, that's the guy I have the chemistry with. I know his timing and his routes.
Another flag on the spike. And again, it's encroachment against Springfield.
Just bad football. They're lining up on top of the football. That's what encroachment is. Their heads over the line of scrimmage.
Prior to the snap, encroachment. Defense number 61. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down. Hey!
Dustin Wilson unhappy after encroachment called again against his boys on a spike by the other team. Minute 8 to go. Station Camp trying to tie the game with freshman quarterback Colton Overby. Throws right. Mason Murray makes the catch and downs himself. Pick up of 4 to make it 2nd and 1. Final minute of the game.
Clock is ticking.
The senior quarterback Luke Dickens on the sideline. The freshman trying to tie things up. Handles the low snap. Overby runs and gets the first down. Clock will stop to move the chains.
That low snap was the killer. It doesn't allow him to incomplete or anything. So now the clock's going to start right here soon. Get the snap off.
They'll spike it. This time no flag against Springfield. So 2nd and goal with 38 seconds to go. Station Camp 0-3. Trying to win their first game of the year with an unexpected player, a freshman, taking over at quarterback and playing unbelievably well in the second half for first-year head coach Chris Bain.
Station Camp essentially gets 3 shots at the end zone, but if they complete anything and then they go down, they're going to have to wait some down the clock. So look for end zone shots here, 3 of them.
Low snap! Who's got it? Station Camp. Overby got over it, and the clock runs.
They're going to have to run a play here.
3rd and goal from the 11. No timeouts left for the Bison. They'll stick with the same look. Overby to the end zone. Caught on a deflection, but whistles before the play stop it. We had a penalty before the snap, it looks like.
I'm stressed for everybody. That was an insane series right there.
If that play had been allowed to continue, Station Camp would have caught it inside the 5, but the clock would have run.
5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Wow, the craziness wiped out. We'll back it up 5 and give everybody a breath.
So they get to keep their down, but at the cost of some field position. Now they really have to take some shots. Find your best players and throw it up.
Clock is running. Overby to the end zone. Incomplete. Looking for Mason Murray. C.J. Cobbins in coverage. And the next play will decide this game on 4th and goal.
You have to go to the end zone. You have 2 downs with 10 seconds left. You can't afford to go down inside of the field of play, so he goes to Murray, guarded by C.J. Cobbins, probably the best player on Springfield. Now we have the trips formation left.
4th and goal. Overby to the end zone. Touchdown! Mason Murray with no time left. And Station Camp will go for 2 and the win.
Station Camp was lined up in a trips formation left, and we see Murray out of the slot, cut down the middle, and shift inside of the defense. The safety was playing just a little too far back.
2-point conversion for the game. Play clock's still at 20. They've got a whole lot of time. The freshman Colton Overby to win it. Intercepted by Alan Dickerson. Springfield wins.
Overby just has too much pressure in his face, and then the rest of the Springfield defense is covering down the middle. There were no outside routes for Overby to look at or to really spread out the field, and it cost Station Camp the win here tonight.
Final score, Springfield 34, Station Camp 33. The senior D lineman, Alan Dickerson, with the game-winning pick, as the freshman quarterback, Colton Overby, did everything you could ever ask for times 10, and was that close to winning it on a Friday night for the Bison, who fall to 0-4. Springfield snaps their 2-game losing streak and improves to 2-2. Our final play of the night, Bruno, is tonight's budget break stop of the game. Budget breaks, you could pay more, but why would you want to?
Right there, you get outside pressure and a heavy dose of underneath coverage. It looks like they dropped some of the linemen, so that way Overby would misread his play down the middle, and that makes all the difference.
Third pick of the game for the Springfield defense. C.J. Cobbins had 2. And how about a big guy pick, Alan Dickerson, to win it on the 2-point conversion? Wow. What a fun night here in Robertson County. Non-region game between two teams trying to turn their seasons around. And I think both of them come out of this with the hope that they hoped for.
Yeah, I'm not one to advocate for too many moral victories, but if I'm Station Camp and I'm looking at what I saw on the field tonight, I'm in high spirits for the youth that the Station Camp team has and the production they're going to bring for the next 3, including this season right now. So no reason. I know it sucks to lose, but you got to keep your heads high and keep preparing for the future. Don't sulk in it too much and get back to the middle. But on the other side, big win for Springfield. They needed this. Max said, I believe it was the 90s the last time they lost 3 games in a row. So it's always nice to keep those sort of traditions alive because the players know those things.
It was 2013, so not that far back. But Dustin Wilson said, when you lose to Clarksville and they're scoring on you at the end when they're up big on you, it feels a whole lot more recent than that. Well, the losing streak's over. They will not lose 3 in a row. In a game with some crazy plays, our Tennessee Army National Guard play of the game is our longest offensive touchdown of the ball game for Springfield. 56-yard touchdown run for Lamarius Dowling.
Dowling showed up right when he needed to. I think Parker had a great game. I think CJ had a great game. Dowling kind of burst onto the scene tonight on our MyTV 30 Friday Night Rivals game of the week. And what better game to come onto the scene with? Running very hard, showed good lateral movement, and most of all, my favorite trait of a running back, gets vertical when he needs to.
He ran for 98 yards on just 16 carries in that 56-yard touchdown. We will come back and talk to the victorious Yellow Jackets after this. Final score, Springfield 34, Station Camp 33. More to come here on MyTV 30.
The adventurous RAV4. It's ready to go anywhere, anytime.
Year after year, this is the best-selling SUV in America.
If you're looking for an all-wheel drive vehicle, you can't go wrong with the new Toyota.
Now, during Toyota's Truck and SUV Month, you can get 3.99 APR financing on a new RAV4.
Or 4.99 APR on the electrified RAV4 Hybrid. Plus, get 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Toyota Truck and SUV Month. The choice is yours.
Toyota. Let's go places.
They said I wouldn't make